Hey everyone, it's Thursday night. Let me bring Sam in. Sorry, Sam.
Hello.
How are you, Sam?
Okay.
Welcome back.
Did you send it to some secret group or something?
I know. He's mad at us, and he's not saying it, but he's mad at us.
And Sam knows why I'm wearing the shirt tonight.
He's so mad. He's so mad at us that he said, what he said. I'm not going to say it on air.
All right. Listen, the flight crew's here. We got Gary and Darren up top, myself, the pilot, and we got Sam and Tony on the bottom shelf.
On the bottom.
Bottom shelf. Yeah.
We have Stan coming in. Stan's going to join us as well in a little bit. So, listen, I want to get everybody's opening thoughts. And since, Sam, you've been away for quite a few weeks, we'll give you the honor of kicking things off, Sam.
So
opening thoughts.
Just in general or on,
yeah.
Okay.
This is where there's no structure. I'm just
right, there's no structure.
You better not say anything with Sam. He might go.
I stand. Yeah. No structure. Hey, we're gonna go opening thoughts, and Sam, you can kick it off.
Right. Well, basically, I think we can just say that at this point in time, I think Arsenal Football Club is in its worst state it's ever been in my lifetime. I started watching Arsenal in sincerity right at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. And during that time, I've never seen it in this state of absolute, turmoil, I have to say. I mean, I just can't get what's going on. No understanding of most of the things that are being done at the club. Does anyone understand even the structure of the club? Who does what now? I mean, what does it do? Is it Richard Garlick, Dicklick, as I like to call him? Well, what does he do? Has anyone seen or heard of him since he came to the club? Is he?
Nope.
I don't know. I just can't get my head around it. I just can't get my head around anything that's going on at this football club. I mean, at least when we were boring with George Graham, we knew what we were getting, and there was some structure to it, and we were all proud of what we were doing. We were a tough defensive team that would win 1-0. George Graham was a very good manager, even though very limited with what we did. We never really spent a lot of money, but at least every now and then we went out and bought a huge player, right? That's something we always did. No, I mean, I'm just so saddened, really, about the state of our football club. That's really that's really all I can say right now to kick this off. Yep. I've been away for a while. The whole Brentford thing, which I only got the highlights of. I mean, it was just I predicted a loss. I predicted a loss. I just knew it was going to happen, and unfortunately. There's so much that needs to be done, and what's being done in this transfer window so far, although there are some things being done, it's not the big things. It's not the right things. It's not the big things. We're doing the little things. We're not doing the big things. And yeah, just really, really, really upset about it all. And yeah, I just really, it's like a nightmare. I'm trying to wake up from this nightmare, and I just can't wake up from it. And yeah, I want it to end, That's all I can say right now.
Yeah, we're going to go clockwise here. So that means Stan the Man, you're up next. This is an opportunity where you're going to have an unstructured discussion. You can speak your opening sequence, Stan.
Well, just to follow on from Sam, I'm in a similar situation, I suppose. I've been supporting Arsenal since probably the end of the 70s, 77, 78, somewhere around there. And like Sam says, I've never seen the club in so much disarray. We've spent £129 million in the transfer market so far, and I think it's the most than any other team. Yeah, I still feel a little bit disappointed, even though we've spent the money. We're spending money. I still feel a little bit disappointed. And for me, it goes a little bit further than just being able to bring in new personnel into every position. I'm at the stage now where I'm not sure whether this manager... It's not the personnel. I think it's what the manager is trying to impress upon on the players. However, I'm still sort of as down as I am. I'm still waiting until the transfer window shuts and then we give it till, say, the end of September before I lay down my damning verdict. But at the moment, I'm sort of like 98% done, with this current regime. And when I say this regime, it's from top to bottom. It's not just Mikel Arteta and Edu, it's the ownership as well. It's people like these thick garlic people that we don't know what it is that they're doing. And as I've said before, if we were to get rid of Mikel Arteta tomorrow, who is qualified at the club who would then go with recommendations to the board and who they should be employing next? The board aren't going to make that decision. They would trust somebody in-house to come to them with recommendations. And equally so, if we were to appoint, let's say people got their wish and we were going to appoint Conte, again, who's qualified to sit down with someone like Conte and sell him a vision of Arsenal Football Club, sell him a vision of football? We don't have anybody that's qualified in that position, so it's quite worrying for me.
Yeah, and to add to that, Stan, the club has spent money, and we'll debate. We have debated in the past. Obviously, the money hasn't been spent very well, and it remains to be seen how the money will be spent in this window as well. But I get what you're saying, Stan and Sam, so far. Underwhelming. I'll go to Gary next. We're going to go clockwise here. That means Tony's got to wait a little bit longer. It's not a bad thing. Underwhelming, Gary.
Underwhelming, and also, I believe it's really easy to fix. I mean, it is. I believe it is. Anybody who's seen any of my chats, they know my favorite phrase, ugh. That's basically where we are right now. I mean, that's where we are. Like, how's Arsenal doing? Look, that's basically where we are. All these 150 million, right? 150 million is what we've spent. And we haven't improved our starting 11 to more than what we have now. Hey, Miss Melina. Hello, Mr. Bongo in the chats. Anybody else who's joining? Hello. The assembled. Welcome. Yeah, our starting, like one of my main thoughts is, let's get a starting 11 and we can build from there. We're doing things a little bit backwards. I don't know why anybody does that, right? You don't start with your substitutes and your reserves and then figure out your starters afterwards. I mean, you really need to have a strong start 11. We're not doing that. So, look, here's where I am, and it's easy to fix. But like the fellas have just said, who is running this ship? Starts at the top, trickles down. I mean, every level there's some either incompetence or negligence, or just somebody would get fired. Usually, in most clubs, if they do the things they've done, right? Every level, somebody would have got, should have been let go, right? The owner is the only one that can't be let go because they're their own boss. But, at some point when they start losing money, then they have to fire themselves and leave eventually, I think, because they want to get out and stop messing with it. But everybody else has not done their job, and everybody else should deserve to get fired, because they're not doing it. I mean, 150 million. And where do we stand? Are we better off than we were yesterday? Are we better off than last? I wish we would have spent this money plus whatever we spent last summer, and just fix it then, because I believe that was when we should have spent all the money that we had, because I think teams would have definitely wanted to get. They didn't know, they were scared, and they would have you probably could have got just as well of a deal as you do now. So what's this one?
Incompetence. You're sounding like a Cardiff City fan, Gary. We felt like that for 40 plus years.
See, this is what happens when I finally get to watch one of Brownie's shows. It's been like 5 months. He cut me off, and I finally get on today, and now I sound like a Cardiff fan in just like 30 minutes. Imagine that. It just rubs off. It gets on you. It sticks to you, and you can't wash it off. That's where we are.
The assembler said, in my opinion, what's made the whole window underwhelming is the offering of a contract to Xhaka. Any positive feeling is defeated, and I'll say deflated as well. When we get around. Darren, your opening thoughts on the state of Arsenal so far before we dive deeply into things?
Well, the players don't know what's going on. Managers don't, and it's just a complete mess. And people I've bumped into who are not Arsenal fans have literally had a dig at me, and they have every right to, saying, we shouldn't have lost 2-0. Do you know what I mean? It's mistakes like that. We shouldn't be doing that in the first early stages of playing. If we're going to do that at the beginning, what's going to happen in the rest of the season? That's what worries me. It should be happening.
Tony, what have you got?
Everything's been underwhelming. Like you said, we spent 140, 150 million in a market. Then we're sitting there nagging over 2 million on Xhaka. Now Roma supposedly has 18 million to buy Torreira. If we just held on a few weeks, we could have sold Xhaka to him. But no, we had to go give him 3 more fucking years. The 4th year as an option. Makes no sense. From top to bottom, the club needs help. First starts at the top. I think we need a new football director. As much as everybody wants us to change ownership, it's not that happened. And you can see the state of the club. You look at and you see the pictures of how many seats are still available for the Chelsea game on Sunday. Usually that's fastest sellout there is. And no telling how many people show up. They'll always announce 60,000, 54, or whatever the number is. They always say, even though the stadium's 2/3 or half packed. I like to be excited by the players we've signed, but to me, Xhaka kind of ruins it. White was a little too costly when we need so much help in midfield. Not enough there in midfield. Nice to see Odegaard come in. Ready to see Gary announce his name later on.
Yeah, we're going to get around to Gary doing that. But Odegaard, Sam, it's not a marquee signing, but it is probably the best signing that we may have of this window, unless something really big happens in the next 10 or 11 days here.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good signing. It's a no-brainer for me. It's you're getting a hell of a lot of player for your money. He's a very good creative player. He's 22 years old. He's a leader. I think with the right manager who can actually give him some more free reign, more attacking, responsibilities. I think he can really help us open up defenses and create more chances than what he's already been doing. I think Arteta and the whole system and everything is holding us back. There's a lot of poor movement off the ball, and he's a player who needs good movement off the ball to help create things around him. And he has that potential. He has that incredible footballing brain and vision where he'll pick out the passes, the key passes, the fantastic passes in behind defense and stuff like that. He can do all of that. He has that in his locker. So we just need to have. I think we need to just have the right manager to be able to open up the system more and use our attacking players in a better way. Maybe bring in 1 or 2 other better attacking players as well, and we can get the best out of him. But so far, he's definitely a very good signing. I mean, for 30 million roughly euros for what he is and what he brings to the table, he's already familiar with playing with us. You compare his overall production to what Maddison does, and I'm not just talking about goals and assists, but I'm talking about how he passes the ball, where he passes the ball, what he actually does on the pitch. He has overall better production numbers than Maddison, and Maddison for me is very overhyped. I mean, yeah, he's a decent player, good player, but very overhyped. And the money they want for him, I think Odegaard is a very sensible signing. It's actually one of the very few sensible signings we've done so far, in my opinion. Of course, we need more. We do need to bring in some other big hitters along with him, but for me, it's a no-brainer to sign him. Really, I mean, for the money we paid for him is fantastic.
Stan, your thoughts on Martin Odegaard? 30 million from Real Madrid. He had the opportunity to come to us for 6 months, get to know the Arsenal family. I think we had a very big impression on him. We saw the videos through the summer in training. Didn't seem to be meshing too well with the Real Madrid players in training. Maybe we blew that over a little bit out of proportion, but definitely for us to pick up the Norwegian captain, it's kind of a nice coup for what we are as a mid-table team right now. I think you're in mute.
I was eating Ritz. I was trying to. I wasn't counting. Sorry, market placement. Is that? Do I get? If you're watching,
sponsorship incoming. All right,
we got to get a sponsorship from somebody.
Yeah,
you hit the nail right on the head there, Ray, with what you said about Martin Odegaard. I find it difficult to understand how a section of our fans over the past month or so seem to have a gripe that our football team, a team that has finished 8th in the last 2 seasons and now doesn't have any European competition, has signed Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid. I don't understand what it is that they're expecting. I think for where we actually are, you could say that Martin Odegaard is a little bit over and above for where we are as a team. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be honest about that, you know. Yes, we're a big club, but we have finished 8th the last 2 seasons. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't like it was a one-off. Now we don't have any European competition, which is affecting us financially and affects the amount of minutes that we can get some of our younger players. And people are upset that we're bringing in Martin Odegaard, who's cost a lot cheaper than Buendia. And Buendia, for me, has never really proven himself in the Premier League. His numbers were extremely low in the Premier League compared to the Championship. And again, comparing, you know, a team that finishes 8th has no business going out and spending 60, 70 million on one player, i.e. James Maddison. That's arrogance, and I would have said that that's a misuse of funds. We're so short in places.
Yeah.
We don't really know how much money we've got to spend. The money that we spend on Maddison could bring in 2 players. 2 players that we desperately need. I'm really happy that Martin Odegaard is coming in. I think that he's going to be an added bonus to us. He's going to really help us. And he's only just turned 23. My only worry is, you know, we're saying, oh, we've got all these promising footballers that have come to the club. My only worry is that Mikel Arteta is buying players that he may not be managing in a couple of years' time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's so much promise in some of the players that he's bringing, which is good for our future. But how is that going to impact Mikel Arteta's results today? You know, it might be a case that somebody else comes in and gets to inherit all of these brilliant young players. So it's a bit of a gamble. You know, maybe in 16 months' time with a new manager, we'll be looking back and kind of like giving a little nod to Mikel Arteta for getting some of these players in because they've begun to show their worth. Maybe Ben White starts to show his worth. Aaron Ramsdale, who knows?
Lokonga.
But I just want to round off by saying, again, really happy that Martin Odegaard is going to be part of our squad on a permanent basis.
Yeah, Gary, we saw what he could do last season. Two goals in 14 games in the league, 1 goal and 2 assists. And then in Europe, he had that 1 goal in 6 games. So, you know, on the face of it, you would say the hard numbers are not there. But as Sam said, he facilitates a lot of good play for the team. And you have to look really deeply into the stats to see what Martin Odegaard can do for you. And of course, I think it's a lot of the younger generation that get hyped, what I call tabloid fans a little bit. They get hyped about Maddison, and you compare Maddison's price to Odegaard, and they just go from there, Gary, you know. Another muter.
You can't get the staff these days, can you? This is.
I got. You know what? First it was. I'm a Cardiff fan. What can I say? You're lucky. I actually can speak with words that you can understand.
Whoa!
Did I say that on live? Oh man, is Brownie gone?
He's not having yawn again.
Hey, but yes, So let me go back to start over again. So yeah, when I look at that statement, for me, it's broken down into three things. I'll start from the back because I don't want to say his name yet. But the number one target, I think that's it sounds like that's what our Arsenal has said, and that's what the media is saying, and that's probably what it was. But I don't think that's our number one target. He's already been in the house. So
as a central attacking midfielder, Odegaard was always the target.
That's what the media. That's what the media says, but you don't know.
Well, I think they're saying both. They're saying number one, and you're saying number one as a cam, right?
Yeah.
But I believe they're saying number one. But maybe I'm wrong. But
we all sat here before the window opened and said our number one priority was to strengthen the partner for Thomas Partey.
Yes.
And that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that to me is the number one target. Number one target for a cam, it could have been multiple. We had multiple choices, right? I mean, we definitely knew Erdiger. Did I say it wrong? I sound like the Swedish chef. Sorry, Martin. I'll get it right next time. But I think we had multiple choices there that we could have gone with. He would is definitely the easiest because he's already been in house. I don't think we got to see the best of him, which I think is a plus, and it might be a blessing in disguise that he got the injury because we didn't really get to see him flourish and grow from game to game, which is one of the things I always want to see. So we might have been lucky there, and that's why nobody saw him kind of grow into the position. He did show. I liked him. I liked him. I would have been happy. I think I would have been happy, but I think a lot of people really thought, why don't we just buy him outright, right, in January? So I don't think anybody should be, most people said, why are we loaning another player? We should just go buy him. And now we buy the player. Why are we buying this player? He hasn't
certain section of fans.
He hasn't gone down in quality. It's not like he's coming in with an injury. Nothing about it says, you know what, this is a bad deal. So I think it's an easy one. And we did it, and we did it for less, right? I think it's going to be a lot more last year. It's dropped, I think, like 10 million. So, that's got to be a bonus, right? We got to see him play. I think Arteta likes him. Obviously, he likes him. He plays him as soon as he can, which, if he gets lucky and all the visa stuff is worked out, I expect to see him on the pitch at some point, if not starting. I think that's a plus. The 30 million, I think, you compare that to Madison, and you're like, you can get two Martins for one Madison. You do that, right? Because we need the depth anyways. But the question is, why haven't we gone out and got the other one, right? We were talking about spending 60 on Madison. We got Martin now. Why can't we go get the other one? I want more depth in the midfield anyways, so it doesn't matter to me who we bring in. If it's all war, why not? Right? We can't be. I don't think anything's wrong. If we bring him in. Well, the problem is, will Arteta use him correctly? And that's been my concern about all of this stuff. Will he bring in a player that maybe he doesn't know how to use him and then waste him? So that's the other puzzle to this. But yeah, I'm enjoying the fact that he's here. I'm hoping they can get that paperwork sorted out so we can strengthen the team. And I'm looking forward to when we are in full strength, right? When everybody's healthy and ready to go, because I think we got a decent team. I'm hoping we don't lose too much in the way of points because we don't have a strong team, a strong, healthy team. So
listen, the Assemble said here, can anyone work out Arsenal's strongest team? And I set some homework to the other 5 guys here. I don't know if you all did it, but you can wing it as well with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But I've got a card with a yes or no. We're going to go through our squad, and we're going to ask all of us of ourselves, is this player a first-team player, first-team quality player, or is he a squad player? So we're going to do that in a little bit. For instance, is Cedric a first-team player?
Who? Is he on the team?
He's in the squad. Squad.
Oh, no, I don't know him.
Yeah, exactly. He's a new one. people say Suarez. I'm like, okay, didn't we bid 40 million and £1 for him? You know. Anyway, let's continue with Odegaard for a little bit longer.
For those that are listening, and if you're not too sure about Martin Odegaard, which is I wasn't when we were linked with him, I'd heard his name when we go back when we were linked with him, but I didn't know that much about him. So I looked on YouTube to see what I could find, and I was surprised to find that there's quite a lot of documentaries about him. It seems that from a young age they had a video camera on this kid for some reason. Because you look at the documentaries that I saw, and it goes right through his whole cycle, and there's a lot of footage from when he was younger, and all of the ages that you sort of see when they're sort of talking about his path. The coaches and scouts and other players that have played with him, they all talk about this kid that he's like a generational talent that they've never seen. Yeah, that he's always been able to play as well above his age, quite far above his age, even when he was younger. You know, you hear stories about some of these footballers. You know, I watched a documentary the other day about, I think it was Romario, and they were saying, like, you know, when he was like 10, he was playing with like the 16-year-olds, kind of thing.
Teenage prodigy.
Yeah. So right. If you are trying to find out a little bit more about him, just put in Martin Odegaard bio or documentaries in YouTube. And I was, after watching them, I was quite impressed and quite excited to see how he was going to be. And after seeing him with us, remember, he didn't play football for quite some time before he came to Arsenal. He was very rusty, and then he suffered an injury, and I was still quite impressed with him. So, yeah, give it a look if you can find him.
Yeah, definitely. Really said here, Odegaard's an established international captain. Maddison doesn't even get into the England reserve, so maybe. Yeah, facts. Darren, I know that your favorite player right now is Emile Smith-Rowe, but I think you're very, very, very happy to welcome a great player, Martin Odegaard, into the team as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's got a lot of good leadership skills as well. I think when you watch him, he can lead, especially the midfield part.
Orchestrate the play, right?
Yeah. But I'm definitely glad he's joined us permanently now, because I think sort of just watch him, as you know, Gary said, you learn them out, you see how they work, and he works well with the team. He works well with everyone. So, you know, I'm not sure why people are so sort of against the fact that he's joining us. I think he'll work well as a team and as a leader as well.
I think Darren is because of James Maddison is a supposedly a higher profile in the English game, a name, higher FIFA, maybe higher.
That's
FIFA
what it is. It's the FIFA generation. It's his reputation. Madison's got a big reputation for not much, really, to be honest. But he's got a big reputation, and that's it. Everyone just looks at him and says, "Oh my God, Maddison." Where Odegaard is actually the better player. When you look, I mean, all the stats, not the actual assists and goals in the Premier League. And Odegaard was only in the Premier League for a tiny little bit anyway. But you look at his overall production and stuff, what he's been doing in La Liga when he's actually played and what he did at Real Sociedad, he's levels above Maddison, levels above him.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that stands out to me all the time is he makes those line crossing passes to Partey, which I never saw from anybody else. He would make these passes, and Partey's got people all around him, and the passes were right to him, right where he needed him to be, and he was able to protect the ball and move forward with it. And I like that. And we don't make those passes when the player is wide open, but Odegaard will make those passes because he trusts that the player that's going to receive it's going to hold on to it, and that's with like you said, he just came in January, and that was as soon as I saw that a couple of times. I'm like, I want more of that. I want a lot more of that. And that's only going to happen when he's on the team and he knows he's not going anywhere, So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when Partey is back. Hopefully that works really well for the time that he's here until he goes away.
Darren, did you want to jump in with something?
Yeah, I think because you got Emile Smith-Rowe, who's quite creative, and I think Odegaard can be quite creative as well. So I think those two will work immensely well together. So I think that will make it stronger at that point there. But the leadership skills, I think he's got it, to be honest.
I always remember back to the North London derby where Emile Smith-Rowe played on the left and Odegaard through the middle. Of course, he did score in the North London derby against the Scum. So we want to see more of that from Martin this season. The Tish said it was mentioned at the start of the window, Odegaard was our number one target. Fans just didn't want to accept it. And, the hype of Maddison, I think you're right, Sam. He is quite a lightweight player, James Maddison. And I think Odegaard has a little bit more about him in terms of physicality, maybe. Brownie, I just call him manager, a pointless action of ignoring him completely. Spurs somehow managed to lose in the Conference League. So definitely I think we can take a moment to laugh at them. I know some highbrow Arsenal fans will say we're in a worse situation. We shouldn't be laughing at our rivals, but if you can't smile when Tottenham are having some bad times, then what's it all about, right? What's it all about? Can't smile without them existing. I already said, tell Arsenal to keep your hands off, keep for more. And it's great to have Reddy here as well. Seeing new names, and they're coming back as well. So Reddy, very welcome to us here, to Arsenal fan circle here. Wenger had invited him to train in Arsenal when he was linked to Liverpool. It's not as if Arteta just wanted him.
I mean, I know all about his history, all of it. I mean, I've come from the same place as him. I know his family. When he first was linked to come to Arsenal on loan, me and Brownie did a whole profile on him on Brownie's channel on Football with Brownie. So I invite everyone to go and have a look at that back then when we brought him in on loan back in January last season.
What's his personality like? We can see what he's like on the field.
He's extremely driven, very, very driven, very, very ambitious, very driven. He's always been the type of kid. He's never gone out and partied and stuff like that. He's always been, just very focused, very driven. He's just got his head screwed on the right way, and he was brought in. He was brought into Strømsgodset, to the team, the Premier League club. Strømsgodset. He was brought in at the age of 14. Actually 13, and he went straight from there. The boys team to the like the senior youth team, and then basically just straight from there into the senior team at 15. He was with the senior squad, training with the senior squad, and playing with the senior squad at 15 years old. And he debuted in the Premier League, Norwegian Premier League, at 15 years old. He's still the youngest debutant in the Norwegian Premier League because he was just that good. And he's strong. He was smaller then. He's bigger, and he's growing a bit more now. He's got more muscle on him now. Of course, he's worked a bit on that as well. But he's quite strong. He works hard. He's got a high work rate. But he's just his vision. His passing. He has these passes and these touches that he's just levels above everyone else around him at his age. Just got that in him, that vision in him, and it just turned everyone's head at that age, right? And especially from Norway, where Norwegians are not really known to be technical players, really. Norwegians, there are some decent Norwegians now. Of course, you've got Haaland and a few others. Very good striker.
Sam, what's the population of Norway?
Pardon?
What's the population of Norway?
5.5 million.
Okay.
Quite a small country.
5.5 million, and the town. Well, it's a city actually. There, where he's from, it's the same city I live in. We're roughly about 100,000, but it's grown. The population's grown a lot, like the last 10 years. But
how many reindeer?
Not so many reindeer down here, Tony. We're lucky enough. They're more up north, but plenty of seagulls, more than them. Oh, geez, don't get me started on them. But anyway, so Martin Odegaard, fantastic, driven, attitude, and me and Brownie talked a lot about him. Went through his whole youth career and everything. Go and check that out if you want some real depth that you won't get or see anywhere else. And so basically, he went from there and he went on a tour. He was such a big talent. All the top clubs they knew about him very quickly because Norway and Scandinavia, they're in everyone's sights, all the top clubs. Because the top clubs in Norway also have a lot of partnerships with a lot of the top academies. So the top clubs in Norway, including Strømsgodset, they actually have working academy partnerships with Man City, Man United, Liverpool, a few of the other clubs where if there's a real big talent, they will come over and have a look and they can come over and all that stuff. And anyway, so he was very early on everyone's radar, and he went on a tour around all of the big clubs when he wanted to move on from Strømsgodset basically. And he did go to Arsenal. He was at Arsenal for a few days. He went to Liverpool. Liverpool were the favourites, as Nitish said. People thought he was going there. But he decided on Real Madrid because Real Madrid, they just sold him this fantastic vision with working under Zidane. Zidane being one of his idols, you know, and he just the whole Galacticos, all the glitter and everything. And back then, Real Madrid was still, you know, in half decent shape. They weren't in the shit show they are now. So they sold that to him, and Zidane helped develop him. Zidane has helped him become a better football player, and then he went on loan to Real Sociedad. And this is the one thing that annoys me. Everyone's like, oh, he's done nothing at Real Madrid. He's this, he's that, blah blah blah. People forget he went to Real Sociedad, and he was their player of the season, and he actually won a La Liga Player of the Month award, right? And that's with the likes of Messi and all these other guys in the league, right? He won the Player of the Month award at Real Sociedad. People forget that, you know. And first he went to Holland on loan, where he had a decent season, but you could see he was developing. Then the season after, he went to Real Sociedad, and he did really well there. They wanted to keep him. They wanted to buy him. Of course, they couldn't really afford him. Real Madrid wanted to keep him.
Was he involved in a game where he put Real Madrid out of a competition or scored an important against them or something?
Yes, I think he set up 2 goals against Real Madrid. Real Sociedad beat Real Madrid. I think it was 2-1 or 2-0 or something, and he set up both of the goals. And they were like, "Okay, yeah, we see what we have here." But the problem he's had afterwards, you've got to remember, Real Madrid, they've always had this mantra where you have the best players in the world, and there's a lot of internal politics, and there's a lot going on the manager side. And at Real Madrid's been a shit show since he's been there, basically. Unfortunately, unfortunately during his time at Real Madrid has been in decline, and that's just, and Ancelotti. When Ancelotti was actually when Ødegaard went to Real Madrid, Ancelotti was the manager, and Zidane was the second team manager. And Ancelotti was like, "Why are we buying this kid?" Because they bought him in like basically above his head, because they wanted one of the biggest talents. You know, they wanted basically one of the biggest talents in Europe, and say, "Hey, look, we got him." You know, and Ancelotti's like, "Well, I'm never going to use him. You know, I'm not going to use him. I've got these guys, blah blah blah." And that really rubbed him up the wrong. I know that rubbed up Ødegaard the wrong way. He never really liked that. And now coming back now, Ancelotti, who gone back to Real Madrid, all of a sudden changed his tune. Said first of all on the first meeting with Ødegaard, said, "I'm interested in using you this coming season. You're going to be part of our plans." And then, for some reason, all of a sudden, that's changed again. And Ancelotti couldn't guarantee him any playing time. He didn't really know where he was in terms of the rank in midfield. So, that's again, it's rubbed Ødegaard up the wrong way. And Ødegaard now he's past that. He's past that all the glitter and the amazement of Real Madrid. Now he wants to play football. And another thing that the media don't cover in the UK or anywhere else is that the head coach for Norway, Ståle Solbakken, a very good coach, by the way, who used to be FC Copenhagen, got them into the Champions League and everything. He chose Ødegaard as captain, but he told him, he said, "Listen, if you want to keep your captain's role for Norway, you have to play football regularly at the top level, week in, week out. So you've got to keep that in mind if you want to be Norway captain." He wants to be Norway captain. It's a huge thing for a Norwegian footballer to be the captain of your country, as I'm sure every Every person, every nation feels the same way. And 22, he's got the armband at 22. He was 21 when he got it, but now he's 22, moving on to 23. So, so he needs to move on and play regular football to keep the armband for Norway as well. And that's one of the reasons. And I know I've been told that he really enjoyed his time at Arsenal. I mean, he's not the type of person who just looks at accolades and stuff like that. He enjoyed his time at Arsenal. He liked what Arteta was doing, and he enjoyed his time at Arsenal. He worked well at Arsenal. He gelled in quickly. And I think he sees that. He sees that opportunity where I can go back to Arsenal. I can play regularly. I know what it's about. I can get right in and get going and get moving and hopefully develop further than what he did. And then that's it. That's what I think what he sees, and he can stay at Arsenal. He's still 22, so if he develops and Arsenal doesn't develop, Arsenal can cash in on him and make money, right? 30. I'm certain buying him for 30 million, if he develops the way he should, we can sell him for 40, 50 maybe in a couple of years if we need to. And he's stepped on as well, right? So for all parties and all the way it all works from all angles, it makes sense,
This is definitely a larger strategy that the club is adopting now, buying young, so you'll have some resale value at the end. Tony, get you involved here. So record fee for a Norwegian is Odegaard for 30 million. It surely will be eclipsed in about 12 months from now. About the one and only other player who could have.
Holland's coming, Holland's coming,
If not doubled.
If not doubled, maybe tripled, right? So, but for what we're doing here at Arsenal, I like, because we're recruiting young players. We got a captain who was in Lakanga, Sambi, the captain of Anderlecht, and now we've got another captain of Norway coming in as well. So we're starting to instill into the team some leadership qualities now.
Can I just say what Sam just said there? I think it's quite interesting. That's what Sam pointed out there, that with all of, a lot of us are all been saying that we don't understand Mikel Arteta's methods. And there's been rumours that some of the senior players don't like his training sessions. It's too hard for them or whatever. But here's a player like Martin Odegaard who's been at Arsenal, and it's not frightened him away. He's not turned around and saying, well, I'm going back there. It's absolute mayhem. So, it's all right for us on the outside looking in, and we come on these shows and we speculate and we all chit chat with each other, and a lot of what we say are our opinions, and we regurgitate a lot of the stuff that we read. But I think it's quite, we should sort of be pointed out that Martin Odegaard is a professional footballer, and he seems to be happy with the system at Arsenal, whatever the training is, the coaching. So. We should maybe just bear that in mind, even though a lot of us here are like, what the fuck's going on? What is he doing?
It's very difficult at times, and we understand that as well, Stan, because the club, more than any other club in the Premier League, I think we're the most secretive club ever. I think we'll all attest to that at certain times in the season when we're on these podcasts. Tony, in his career, Odegaard's played 145 games, scored 20 goals and 28 assists. So that's about a goal involvement, one in every 3 games. What would you think is a fair return if he gets about 30 games this season?
Probably about 7 goals and around 10 assists. So somewhere around 15.
Yeah, I had 10 in the back of my mind. 10 goal involvements, 10 to 12. For Odegaard would be a good return, I think, for the season. But I think he's going to actually facilitate our play in the middle third of the field as well.
Can I just say one final thing before we move on about Odegaard?
Totally can't talk about Odegaard.
No, it's just that there's this fascinating stat that I've shared with you guys in our chat on Twitter, and it's an amazing stat. And it's from the first, when he was playing the first half of the 1920 season for Real Madrid. The stats show in La Liga when it comes to what they call basically positive play, like forward moving play, where passes completed going forwards, passes completed in the box, crosses completed, basically all positive key passes, basically where everything going towards goal is effective, working effective. And in that first half of the season, the 19 to 20 La Liga, that half of the season, he was the number one player in La Liga ahead of Messi. It was him and it was Messi on the stats there. And very few people know about that stat, but it's absolutely amazing. And it just shows the type of play when he's in a team with creative players around him, moving off the ball. This is the thing that's going to be worrying me at Arsenal, is that lack of movement off the ball. We're very static. That's what's going to... It doesn't help Erdegaard, if players aren't moving off the ball and running into channels and making the runs, right? He can't make things out of nothing. Things have to be happening around him and he'll find them. And that's what he was doing at Real Madrid, and he was doing that quite well until he got dropped. Zidane decided to drop him. There was a lot going on. Anyway, but that stat, I just want to put that out there. He was ahead of everyone, including Messi, number one in La Liga before he got dropped. That is an amazing stat, and I just want people to keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely. The Assemble said, "Oh no, the manager must have promised Odegaard he'll be Norway captain and so he'll get minutes in Arsenal. Anyone who he's made promises to are unhappy." And I see Stan's cat trying to get in on the act, so we'll have a magnificent 7 here, Stan, pretty soon.
Yeah, her mum's away. Her mum's away in Toronto, so whatever room I'm in, she just follows me. She's quite sociable like that, She wants to be in every room where you are, even if you're sat on the toilet.
Let's get into this next one a little bit, Stan. Aaron Ramsdale, as Matish said here, Fabrizio Romano, Martin Odegaard and Aaron Ramsdale have their contracts completed and signed with Arsenal. Official announcement in place as expected. Red Circle, AFC.
What was the actual finishing fee that we've paid for this young man?
There was 24 plus another 4 to 6 in bonuses or something like that.
Yeah, 24 plus 6.
Okay. I mean, I don't know too much about Aaron Ramsdale. I was reading something about him today where there was some game where he really was it something in the cup that let 4 goals in, and I don't know. I don't know much about him, but I mean, at least we've got a backup keeper. Hopefully, it's someone that will start to keep Bernd Leno on their toes, because there's nothing worse when you know that you're going to get picked every week. You can get into a mindset where you think, okay, I've had this one. You may be only 60 minutes through the game, not even the full 90. You're thinking, I'm having a bit of a stinker, but I'm definitely going to make it up for it next week. I will definitely be better next week. And you start to procrastinate. So you want to have someone to keep him on his toes. He's having a torrid time at the moment, Bernd Leno. But again, I just look at it this way. If you are really unhappy with Bernd Leno and you think he's a really rubbish keeper and shouldn't be our number one, who are you going to compare him to? Because I have to look at what, we're shopping in a certain area for certain players, right? It costs us less than 25 million. I've been a big fan of Bernd Leno. He has had some horrors what we've seen, and going at the end of last season, he had some big horrors. But maybe this guy will come in and keep him on his toes, and is maybe some kind of a prospect for a future number one. I don't know. I don't know nothing about Aaron Ramsdale. I did think that when we were initially linked with him and I had 30 million, I was a little bit like, fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a bit steep, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Who is this guy, Peter Bonetti, like reborn or something? I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm talking about, we keep hearing that one for the future. And again, Granite Jack, I was reading the thing there. Mikel Arteta, he should be thinking a little bit more about now. He's all well and good that we're buying these future prospects and that, but are they going to get him out of jail now? So
it almost feels like he feels pretty confident at the helm of Arsenal there, Stan. Feels like even if 10 games go by and we're not happy with what's happening, he's still going to be pretty confidently.
I like it that we're looking for some British talent. I do like that. Only time will tell. I think, again, only time will. People like Ben White, and Aaron Ramsdale, only time's going to tell whether that potentially £70 million has been well spent.
Yeah.
And I'm eager to find out because I know very little about these two players.
Yeah, we all harken back to Granit Xhaka and Mustafi and now the man of the money. I'm going to skip down to Tony and then up to Gary and get back in sequence then. Tony, Aaron Ramsdale taking a lot of heat from our fans. Possibly, I'm like, maybe it's the younger fans again are giving Aaron Ramsdale heat. They don't want this goalkeeper, but a very, very young keeper. Keepers don't usually get better until they're way much later in their career.
How old is he, right? I didn't know that.
I think he's 23, 24. So he's got quite a few years yet, Tony, to develop. And maybe this season he's going to sit behind Leno. And as Stan said, competition, I think, is what Bernd Leno needs.
Yeah, it's definitely needed it last year. He wasn't under any pressure with our backup. I still don't know how the hell we got such a shitty backup last year when we knew we were to sell Martinez. We should have had a better backup in mind. I think all the things with Ramsdale's because he's been on relegated clubs, which really isn't his fault. Just who he keeps signing with. He's done a pretty decent job in goal. I think he'll develop. I think he'll put pressure on Leno. And like I said, the last previous weeks that Leno didn't have a solid four behind him. We kept always switching the back four. Having a back four and having a solid backup, I think that's going to help Leno. I think Ramsdale will probably develop. And I think we'll see Leno probably leave next summer.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens then.
Yeah, Gary, ultimately what could be high 20s into 30 million for a goalkeeper. It's very, very possible that, something is going on with Bernd Leno. His eyes have been turned. He wants to maybe move eventually. Rohan here said highest spenders in the Premier League this summer, but have we improved? We've improved the squad. We've upgraded the squad a little bit in terms
Still not enough depth.
You would not say, Rohan, we've been blown away by what we've seen so far. Gary, the goalkeeper?
Yeah. First thing, I guess let's go with the potential of 30 million for the goalkeeper. Hopefully he does become the starter, or else it will be, a little bit too much for a player that will not be your starter. I guess it's foresight, right? We've always said that Arsenal at some point is going to have to do something before it's needed, right? They always seem to be a year behind on a lot of their transfer business, their movement of players. This might be a move. This might be probably the first time we've actually done something maybe a year before something changes. More than likely, Leno's gone, right? You can't. I mean, unless goalkeeper prices have gone up basically in one season, right? Emmy's 20, Ramsdale is 24, and like they said, he hasn't been on good teams. But if you actually look at the stats, like Tony said, the stats actually don't show a terrible goalkeeper. He has to take on a lot more shots, and he reminds me a little bit of what we saw from Leno a couple years ago when he was, he took on so many shots because our defense was just really leaky, right? We would score a lot, and I actually kind of liked those games because at least I thought we would score. Right now we don't score, so it's okay. But our defense is better. But I think he actually took on a lot more shots. So I think when you look at the stats, and you look at the results with the team, it's nothing. It is a team effort, but I don't think he was the only one. He was the main one to blame for that at all. I think his stats actually look comparable to Leno in some degrees, if not better. So I think we got a good one there. We'll see how it pans out when he's got. Hopefully, I think we've got a better team than what he's played on, right? So, hopefully we'll see that, and his stats will look really good. I think one of the things that people have said is that he is good with the ball at his feet, if I recall, and we're looking for a better play. I mean, his long balls are more likely going to get to our players than to get to the defense, which is going to be a plus for us because every time we kick a ball long, you might as well have just rolled it over to the defense and said, your turn, because that's usually what ends up happening. We just the ball's never even close to any of our players to actually get on the end of. So, we'll see how that goes if he gets to play. It's a good move. 30 sounds really high at this point. But you know what? I think Arteta definitely wants to start from the back, and he's been continually doing that since he's been here, right? Every transfer period, he's done something to the back, right? He's got Gabriel, he got Matty Ryan, and now he's got White. I mean, everything's on that back line, and not as much in the midfield as that's where the leak is.
Yeah, it's like a Formula One car. They're tinkering too much with the engine where they need to spread the money around a lot of the team.
Yeah, well, those
aerodynamics better.
Yeah, those moves have to be long term, right? I mean, Luiz was a stopgap, but they never bought the other guy in, even though they had him, right? He's in France, right?
I sense much anger in you.
They had a
Gary,
guy.
Are you frustrated?
They had this guy. I don't know what his name is. You guys
they had him. They let him get away. Gary,
they had this guy that could have sat behind Luiz, right? I think he can be better than Holding. Maybe he's not there yet, but I believe if he played behind Luiz, he would have been better off for it, right? So, and it would have cost us nothing because we already spent the money.
And that player you speak of could be one of the best players in the French league this coming season as well.
And his partner, and his partner might be, helping him along the way there. So it's kind of like, oh, that's great, yay,
Hey, Gary, he's gonna be homegrown when he comes back.
Gary, next week we're gonna have a cup game. Would you like to see Ramsdale? As Rydia said here, Ramsdale could be our cup keeper. We got West Bromwich Albion next week.
He should play. He needs to play as soon as he can. He needs to play.
Young, homegrown English, and developing a player decent. People need to stop getting his back. That's the other thing. The abuse.
I was going to say my last thing went out, but I think he needs to play as soon as he can. 30 mil. If he's going to be your number one going forward, if that's where they foresee him, he should play as soon as possible. The other part to this is, the usual, right? Social media idiots, right? Going after a player, one who hasn't actually signed for us yet, right? He has to shut down his mentions and all that kind of and comments and all of that. Yeah. I mean, I'll talk bad about him, I guess, because when they play, but I'm not going after them in the social media world. That makes no sense, right?
That's the way it should be, Gary. That's the way it should be.
I mean, if you have a bad game, I'm going to say it. If based on what I saw. Put on the jersey. You support the player, but if you see that he hasn't had a good game, you're completely within your rights to call that out.
What's Ramsdale supposed to do when a team like Arsenal comes in for him? Say no. It might be I'm good. Be too big a challenge and a bit above my station. So no.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to say?
Yeah, no, it's an easy choice for him, and
supposed to politely decline, Stan.
Yeah.
Natishka's not faithful that he's going to be good, but if he does join Arsenal, he will back him until he messes things up. He's not ready to challenge Leno in any way at present. But Natish, he is a player who can put some pressure on Leno. And I've seen lackadaisical Leno in the last few weeks, and I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, once again, you go look at he comes in with, the only thing he's coming in with is that he's been on teams that have been relegated. Nobody said he's been a terrible goalkeeper in the sense that he can't make stops. Comparable to what we see from Leno, he's about, I think some of the stats show that they're kind of close. They're close, if not, if he's not better than him. So if you watch some of his YouTube videos, you could see that he can make some quality, stops. And, he's really good at that. And, I think he's a lot more daring. He will go get the ball, I believe. So we need that sometimes.
Yeah, Leno plants himself on the line very much.
Yeah. One thing I'm not sure about is his communication with the defense. Of course, we haven't seen him. I don't really look at that unless it's my keeper. But, that would be the one plus. If he brings that, that will set him apart right away. If he communicates with his back line.
Yeah. There's going to be ways he can be better than Leno in some aspects. Shout out to Bargav. Thanks for joining us, Bargav. Big up panel. Sam's back. Erdegaard is in the right place and time. And Rohan is here. Thanks, Rohan, for joining us. We finished 8 2 years running. Our first team, our squad players. Our first team, our squad players, we should have bought quality to slot right in instead of increasing depth. I think we did a mix of that as well, Rohan. And our depth needed to be upgraded as well, especially we all know in the left back position and probably midfield as well.
Probably midfield, Ray.
Definitely in midfield.
Does anybody think we don't have a decent starting 11? Like, I know we've got some holes.
When everybody's
still
fit,
need a defensive midfielder.
When everybody's fit, we can put a team out that if we go for it, we could give any team a run for it, even Manchester City and Chelsea. But Arteta won't play that way. But we do have the players. You know what I mean? Darren, what other notes do you have on Ramsdale? I'm going to give you a chance to showcase your notes here.
Well, there's not much notes, but just scribbles more, Nathan.
What did the scribbles say?
I can't read my own writing for a start. But no, I think I'm looking forward to seeing how he is. But I mean, I've sort of watched YouTube clips of how he plays, and obviously coming from Bournemouth, he was one of the teams he was in that got relegated. I think he'll be good. I mean, the only weakness that I've found that is catching crosses, which is where we sort of lack, especially if we haven't got a decent defense. But if we work as a defense with the goalkeeper, that could be workable. But as Gary said, we need to give him a first game to see that, to see what he can do before we can make that judgment, I think. But,
the panel is perfect, by the way. Wait for Sam's Southern accent. He might be a little bit jet lagged still. I don't know if he's in the mood for the Southern accent.
He's from Texas.
We'll see. We'll see later on.
It does not usually kick in around the 2 hour mark, anyways, because you gotta get warmed up.
Yeah.
Lombard Camp is not quite on board with the signings here. We have, I believe, Erdegaard is going to be a decent player for us. And
Odegaard, Jesus Christ.
Ramsdale is a player who we got to give him some time. We got to see what happens.
But no, think about it.
And he's got a Paris Saint-Germain badge. I mean, come on.
Well, no, think about who Martin is replacing. Who's Martin replacing? No one, because we didn't have anybody. And Ramsdale is replacing Renarson, right? So at the least, they are improvements of what we had prior. They're definitely improvements, and they are definitely. I mean, they're improvements. We had nothing behind the Millsworth row or in front of him. Now we definitely have somebody right there to compete with him. And Ramsdale will push Leno if we get what we want out of them, and if the team sees what they, if they saw something in him and they see it on the pitch, we'll be all the better for it. So yeah. I think there are pluses in every move that we've made so far. I believe has been a plus.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be by committee, Gary. Everything we're doing is slightly raising the Titanic, let's say, because we have been a little bit like the Titanic last season as well. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, we are still closer to the bottom of the ocean than we are to getting up above it. So.
Are they still playing on the instruments while everyone's sinking? Are we still there? Or
yeah, sure.
Have they drowned yet as well? I don't know.
Hector's probably doing that. You know what I mean?
There's water in the tuba.
Any final points on Aaron Ramsdale? I think he's a young goalkeeper, and we generally don't see goalkeepers getting really, really good until later. It might be a number of years before Ramsdale reaches the level that he should reach. But, it could go toward the Pickfords, or it could go towards the David Seaman. And let's remember, David Seaman was not heralded when he was brought in at Arsenal.
Was he? Really?
No, because the fans had John Lukic that won a championship.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because John Lukic, they were fans of John Lukic. But Seaman came in, he was a good keeper. He was good at QPR, wasn't he?
But the fans are not really interested in this keeper.
Yeah.
who's this cute guy with the thick northern accent?
Yeah, the bloody moustache and all of that. Yeah.
From QPR, you know.
No, I mean for me, you guys have covered a lot of good points for Ramsdale. There's just a couple of things. Yes, it does look worrying on paper when every team he's been with has been relegated. That is worrying when you look at it sort of from afar. But then you do need to look at it a bit more closely. And what is a common denominator between teams that get relegated is they have a very poor defense, right? And a goalkeeper, at the end of the day, a good goalkeeper needs a good defense, ahead of him, right? He can't do everything himself. That being said, I listened to Arsblog's podcast a little while ago when we were heavily linked with him, and they spoke to one of the main, Sheffield United supporters people on, from one of their podcasts. And he said that Ramsdale he has a lot of positives. You can see that there is a talent there, that there are, some positives there in him, but he still has quite a few mistakes at the moment. So he is a project, developing that can can go either way, right? We can get lucky, hopefully develops the right way, and we have a very good goalkeeper going forward. Because again, I think this is looking more towards our long-term future here. After Leno, I think, as Tony said, I think Leno is gonna go after next season, probably move on in his career. I don't think he feels committed to Arsenal at all. So then, if Ramsdale has developed and he's doing well, he can come in maybe and take that number one spot. And goalkeepers do develop later on. He's 24 years old. Goalkeepers don't normally start peaking until about 28, unless I'm talking normally, right? You do have these exceptional talents like Donnarumma and Casillas and things like that. But normally a goalkeeper is not going to start peaking until between 26, 28. And normally at about 30 years old, the goalkeeper is at his absolute peak. Because with a goalkeeper, what's also very important is experience. A goalkeeper builds a lot of his ability on experience. So when you're 30 years old, you've got your ability, you're developed, and also you've got that experience as well. So I would say a goalkeeper really peaks at about the age of 30. So looking, long ahead, we might have Ramsdale, hopefully. And again, I saw Richard Wright was mentioned by the Assembled, which again, as I've been talking about, I just don't hope this is another Richard Wright, because we remember back to about the year 2000, 2001, when Seaman was getting old, and Richard Wright was the big name in English football with Ipswich, young, very talented goalkeeper. We thought, okay, Richard Wright, that's it. You come in now. You're going to be our heir to David Seaman. David Seaman,
if I remember rightly, that was
big transfer fee for that at that time for an English goalkeeper and all of that. A lot of hype around him because he was a very good goalkeeper when he came to Arsenal. And then David Seaman gets injured. Richard Wright gets a chance and completely shits the bed. Punches the ball into his own net. Can't catch crosses. I mean, like a deer in the headlights. And he's so bad, he gets benched, and we have to bring on the third goalkeeper, Stuart Taylor, to play ahead of him. So, so that was a complete shit show, and that ruined Richard Wright. We had to loan him out after that, and then we sold him, and he just disappeared. He just went into the twilight of his football career from there, and that was such a shame. He should have been a big name, but I just hope Ramsdale is not the same type of thing for him and for us, of course. And I'm going to back him, of course. He puts on that Arsenal shirt. I'm going to back him. I want him to do well. He's our goalkeeper. I want him to save shots. I want him to do well. I'm hoping he's going to do better than at Sheffield United, because he's going to have a better defence in front of him than he had at Sheffield United. That's what I hope we're going to see. And we back him, right? And then we'll see if he's not good, if he's not catching crosses, if he's punching the ball into his own fucking net. Then we can sell him, right? Hopefully sell him.
Yeah, or passing. Or passing the ball into
his own net. Yeah.
I decided to put on like his saves. I believe it's from this last season, and the amount of saves he's had where the defender has all the space in the world to make a shot, or he's coming one-on-one with the goalkeeper is, that's like every other shot that he's had to take a look at. And I know he's given up a lot of goals, but if you're I don't think, like you said, I don't think he had a good defense in front of him, but he does make good shots. He's a good shot stops, so he looks good. I mean, from what I saw,
shot stopper to Gary.
Speaking of
shot stopper,
shot stopper.
Speaking of goalkeepers, and does anybody remember, and probably Sam will, and maybe Ray as well, Alex Manninger?
Yeah.
He was he came in and was like the number 2 to Seaman. And do you remember Seaman had an injury? He was out for a while. Alex Manninger came in.
12 games.
And he was shit hot. And I remember a lot of people were saying, wow, this guy, how does Seaman get back into the team? And the next time he had an opportunity, Seaman came back. But the next time he had an opportunity, do you remember he was absolute, it just didn't work out.
Nah, it's true.
Kind of reminded me a little bit of Emi Martinez.
Yeah, we rode that hand, the hot keeper, to win, I think, 12 games in a row, overcame a deficit to Manchester United, and won the league.
No, yes, you're right. He came in, Seaman got injured for a while, and he came in, did really, really well. I was like, wow, that's our new goalkeeper. Then Seaman, being Seaman, of course, got his position back. And then when Manninger got in again, he was just not the same at all. Again, it's confidence. Confidence is so important with a goalkeeper, very important. So I think unfortunately with Manninger there, his confidence got knocked a lot by not keeping his spot when Seaman was out. Yeah. Okay,
that's Aaron Ramsdale. We picked him up at 24 to 28 million, maybe. And it could be an astute signing, as Gary, I think, pointed out earlier. It could be Arsenal being ahead of the game. It could be anything, but right now it is an upgrade on Runarsson. And
that's for sure. Because Runarsson's not even a goalkeeper, I'm sure of it.
We have to remember this. He's an upgrade on Runarsson.
Both Sam's eyes out and put him out there.
The assembled asked the question, what do we know what our first team is? And we're going to go through the squad and play a game here. I've got cards here, yes or no.
Okay.
I don't know if I told all of you to do that, but I don't know if you did.
Didn't have any markers, Ray.
It was telepathy today. We just had to figure it out.
You can't have sharp objects around Tony, so no markers.
No, Stan, he's going to go do it now. He submits his homework 2 minutes before. Look at that. Darren.
Teacher's pet.
Yeah. Sam, can you do it?
Let's see your other notes.
Okay,
Sam, can you have like 2 seagulls and 1 seagull? Because why not?
I shot them all. They're all dead. They're all
You can't sit on camera. Remember, we got it. Right, cut this out. All right, the last 10 seconds, you got to cut it out.
Something happened to him while he's in Thailand.
I wasn't listening. La. So after we're going to do this exercise, we're going to go through a squad. Are they first teamers? Yes or no? No or yes. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about Roma. They found some money they didn't have for Granit Xhaka. Tony's going to love this conversation.
I already brought it up.
I thought we would really get into the Emmy versus Leno discussion, but we'll save that one for another day.
Yeah.
What do you think? Stan is a podcasting Xhaka, manager's favorite. Yep. Lee Gunner, I don't know what that's all about. Tybe, let me know what that means.
Big up, Tybe.
Big up, Tybe. I don't know what Lee Gunner means and how it pertains to us still right now. Clue us in. Maybe Lee Gunner is a first teamer. I don't know.
I don't know if a message got redacted. So who knows?
All right, so Stan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm just making my signs.
Oh man!
Doing last minute homework. Last minute.
A cat.
She's gonna have to show. He's gonna show us all up with his yes no.
Hi, all morning.
I went for we as well.
Is Tybe based in the UK, Sam?
What did you say?
Is Tybe in the UK?
Yes, he's in the UK.
All right.
Yes.
Big up yourself. Big up everyone who is with us. The Insomniac Army are here.
Yeah, you got Brownies in the UK.
Darren.
You got Taib in the UK.
Here.
Darren's in the UK, of course. That goes without saying.
Brownie have to leave Spain, did he?
Yeah, he got kicked out.
They caught up with him, did they? Yeah.
They kicked out. They won't have him back.
How much longer, Stan?
I'm ready.
Oh, how can we see your sign? We can't see your sign then. Okay, we'll give you an easy one. Bernd Leno, right now, is he a first teamer?
My first.
Through absolutely no alternate choice. So yes.
So all of the other goalkeepers, Ruiners.
Well, who are you going to put in there? Who are you going to put in there? The Make-A-Wish Foundation kid or Wonky Toes?
Wait. Who did you say first?
The Make-A-Wish Foundation kid or Wonky Toes?
Bernd Leno. First teamer.
First teamer.
Right now, first teamer. No.
What?
Who are you picking in goalkeeper?
Oh, I thought you said Renarsson. I don't know. I had Renarsson in my head. No, you know what? No matter what you said, I heard Renarsson. I don't know why. I don't know why, but yeah, easy one.
Gary's not going to play right. Gary's not going to play well. Kieran Tierney, left back.
Oh my God, yes.
Kolasinac.
No. Fuck no.
All I have to say to that is
Tavares.
Yes.
He would be a first teamer.
First teamer. Well, he's a squad player, isn't he? It's not first 11.
Tierney,
you know what? He's already come in and played right back. He's a starter now. That was Arteta's hint to everyone. Yeah.
All right, let's go right back. Cedric.
Cedric. Oh my God. Yeah. No.
The light is shining too brightly on yours, Gary. You're gonna
have to
paper.
That's better.
He's surrendering.
Chambers.
See, I want Tavares, so I'll.
As a right back.
Well, as a right back.
Yeah, why not?
I think Chambers is okay at right back. So
you spoke before the show.
Hector Bellerin.
I am not. Nope.
Bye bye.
Not even gonna. Nope.
Stands on the train.
Not gonna say anything.
All right, let's do Rob Holdings. Rob Holding, first teamer.
I'm not answering that. Not answering it.
Okay. Ben White.
Well, he has to be for the money we spent. It's got to be.
Gabriel Mega Leg.
Oh yes.
Just two of these.
Gabriel Mega Legs.
Mr. Don Juan.
Pablo Marie.
Right,
sorry.
He's not a first teamer. He's a squad player.
I thought
Let's
he was
go into central midfield. We'll start with an easy one. Thomas Partey. Granit Xhaka.
Fuck no.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Lokonga. Sambi.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
All right. El Neni. Probably shouldn't be a first teamer, but he's good squad player.
Sam's being a rebel here.
Stan, what are you doing?
He's got a plane stay.
No, Stan, don't do that. Please play. Take this thing serious. Stop this playing around stuff.
If there's no injuries, Stan, does El Neni get into the team if there's no injuries?
What, you mean a first 11 or on the bench or
first 11?
First level.
Okay. Then I have to take out the fuck. It's just a no. Polite no.
All right.
No venom behind that.
Central attacking midfield, Emil Smith-Rowe. Yes. Odegaard. Yes. All right.
Strange formation.
Yeah. This gets easier now, doesn't it? The wings. Bukayo Saka. Absolutely. Pepe. Yes. Willian.
No.
Tricky one, Martinelli.
Oof.
Well, he doesn't get into not the first team.
No.
I'm not gonna put my hand down because I like him. Right, he's not starting.
All right.
Stands at like first 15.
Tony, let me know if I'm missing any, but let's go into the strikers now.
You didn't say Pepe.
You did.
Did you say Pepe? We gave him a thumbs up.
Okay.
Reece Nelson.
Reece Nelson, no. Eddie Nketiah, no.
No.
All right, Lacazette.
Yes.
You got one striker position, Lacazette. Aubameyang?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
Stan, who's your striker?
Martinelli.
Ah.
Oh.
Balogun.
Balogun. He's alone.
He's going away. He's going on a little trip.
I think they'll sell Leno, said Brownie. Why would Rams sell?
We forgot Maitland-Niles.
All the ones that we forgot, I might just keep this up now.
We offer an extra $2,000 a week to get his mom out of his storage container. We could bribe him to play right back. Sam, a little worried about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's just made wrong choices in his career, right?
Well, I don't think it helped sending to West Brom either. I don't think that suited him very well. But he's just he wants to play central midfield. We he's not good enough really to play there for us. If he could accept trying to develop at right back and potentially as a left back, he might have had more of a future with us. But he's been against that, hasn't he? So he's sort of sold his own career away, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah. Rohan wants to know, what about Arteta?
Arteta?
No.
Not only does he get 2 thumbs down, but he gets the noise.
Yes.
Arteta comes last, LOL. Okay, Arteta is a striker, maybe. Gunnar Adam G, new face around here. Good to see new faces. Okay, Stan, you want to talk about Torreira?
Yes, please.
Go for
it. So yeah, Torreira.
1 second.
I really hope that I think it's Brooklyn Gunnar. I was talking to him on Twitter, and he was asking me, "Why do you still want a player in the team who doesn't want to play for us?" And I replied, "Tune in now, and you'll find out." And I posted the link to the show. So I really hoped we've been on for an hour and 20. I hope he's listening. So for me, with Lucas Torreira, there's one position that's really glaring out in our side that we're missing, first of all, and that's a central defensive midfielder. As I see it, in my opinion, we've only got Sambi Lokonga, who plays that position. That's what he says. That's his favourite position. But we can't expect him to be coming in now as a first teamer for the whole season. And the other one is El Neni. Other than that, the other midfielders that we've got are either more attacking or they're more CMs, kind of box to box. Couple might be a little bit deep lying, but we don't have a central defensive midfielder. And I was reading today that Lucas Torreira was saying that he'd be prepared to play for Arsenal this season. And why not? Yes, he wanted to move away. We know that there was a little bit of bullying going on. I posted that thing in our group with Kolasinac, with the little baby grow and all of that. Some of the teams that he would like to obviously play for, people say, "Oh, well, he's homesick." Well, if he's homesick, he ain't going to be. He's not from Spain, and he's not from Italy, because they're the teams that are looking at him, right? If he's homesick, he'll have to go and play in somewhere like Uruguay. However, teams in Uruguay, they ain't going to kind of stump up the kind of money that we would want for him. So all this homesick stuff, he's not going to go to Uruguay unless we give him away for free. They just don't have that kind of money out there. But if he says that he's willing to play, I just look at it like this. Why are we still going back to the table with Roma? Because I've heard that Roma might be interested in him when Roma didn't have enough money for Xhaka. And we've gone out and given Granit Xhaka an extended contract. And I just look at that situation and I think, well, Xhaka didn't want to play for Arsenal either. He flirted with Mourinho all summer. But because Roma didn't come up with the money, we gave him a contract. Whereas Torreira is saying, I'd be prepared to play for Arsenal. Why don't we try that? He speaks the same language as Mikel Arteta. They both speak Spanish. Yeah, so it's going to be easy to communicate. And if he comes back and he trains hard, who knows? He might start enjoying it. So when people say to me, why do you want to play? I don't want to play for us. Well, he's not actually ruling it out, is he? He said that he would be prepared to play for us. Why can't we see if we can't get him to start enjoying his football? Because this could be something that we could solve internally. And the reason that I'm so up on on Torreira. I really believe that he's exactly what we need. Just in front of the back four, putting out fires. And I've seen him play in the flesh. My last ever Arsenal game was the 4-2 North London derby where he scored. And I remember coming away from that game with my missus and a few other people going, wow, we've got a right good player there. At last, we've replaced Gilberto Silva at long last. That's what people were saying. So I just feel that we could have maybe tried a little bit more with Torreira, whereas we seem to be rushing to push him out. Whereas Granit Xhaka, we seem to be rushing to give this guy a contract before the window's even shut. That's my thinking. I just feel that if Torreira's coming around and thinking, I've got to play football, I want to play football, and as much as I wanted to leave Arsenal, maybe there's an opportunity. Who knows? We can get him to enjoy his football again. Mikel Arteta, when he came to us, one of the things that we were sold on was he's really good with some of the youngsters. A lot of the younger players, really sort of like gave him a name check for helping him in his game. Why couldn't he have tried a little bit more of Guendouzi and try a little bit more with someone like Torreira? And I'm not a big fan of Guendouzi, but he just seems very quick to turn his back on people.
Yeah. Tony, jump in there. The thing with Torreira, he came off that World Cup year. We got him, where he marked Ronaldo very, very tightly in the World Cup. And he had a great first 6 months at the club. And right about the time Stan saw him in the Northland Derby, I think it was December.
November, yeah, that's right. December, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I actually formed this channel after a week later. He scored a bicycle kick for the Huddersfield game. I told my hair, we got to start putting some content out, doing something. So, we're probably like the 657,000 Arsenal channel out there. But Torreira sparked all of this with that game at Huddersfield, that scissors kick. I told my hair, my hopeful optimism, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. I think it was like something like the 80th minute or 79th minute, Torreira scored that goal. But Tony, a great goal for Torreira. I was afraid City were going to come in and take him because he was that good. They were looking for a replacement for, I think, Fernandinho at that point in time. But his Arsenal career just lost the beat then after that, Tony.
Yeah, he had a long World Cup run, then he kept traveling back between South America a couple of times. Emery kept playing him when he was in the orange, just kept playing him. I think he got burned out, got tired of the rain and the shitty weather in London. Just wasn't feeling good. Should have got a rest. I think he'd still be playing in the first team if he got a proper rest. I just think he got burned out. And it came to Granit Xhaka telling us to fuck off. And he's crying like a baby. Doesn't have a South American attitude like Sanchez did.
Well, he was crying because it became a very toxic atmosphere in the stadium,
Yeah.
And it happened to his midfield partner, that pivot where you have to work together,
Still cried. And no crying in football, Ray.
Do you know what I would do? I would have brought him back at pre-season, just before the pre-season started, right? And he's giving it like, I want to go somewhere else. I'm looking to play. But yeah, no worries about that. I'm going to go out and I'm going to find you the fucking best place that you can go to. Meanwhile, though, I need you to play so that people can see what you're doing. Just play in the team. Because I think that a midfield three of Partey, Torreira being the deepest one, Partey just ahead of him, and ESR stroke Odegaard, I think would be something really nice. So I'd have him playing, and every 2 weeks when he comes to see me and he's like, any news on the club? I'd be like, not yet, mate, but I'm still looking. I won't be calling anybody. I would just have him playing and playing and playing, and then 6 months down the road, I'd be like, are you not enjoying it? And he'd probably be like, yeah, I am actually. And I'd say, right, we'll just carry on then, right? You encourage him to get back into it because he was subject to a bit of ridicule and bullying. And he also had to go through that phase of Emery playing him out of position, which didn't help him. And then a new manager comes in, didn't really fancy him. But I'm sure He came to us for a reason, right? No one held a gun to his head to come to Arsenal. He wanted to come here and do well. And I'm telling you, I've seen him on TV in the flesh, and I think there's a player in there if you use him correctly. And we could really solve this problem internally, I think.
Yeah, if Arteta is clever enough to use him, Gary, and that's probably not going to be the case. Ray Anderson said, Gary, Torreira sometimes doesn't mean what he's saying. Sometimes I think there's something there. Ray Anderson just can't put his finger on it. I can't put my finger on it. Homesick. I do think there was a lot of homesickness to a degree there, Gary, as well.
I think what I'm hearing, what I believe probably is that he's just not liking his football, and he probably didn't like it back when Emery was here, and said, you know what, if you're not enjoying yourself playing, if they're not putting you in situations that you're good at, or putting you in positions to succeed, it makes it harder to want to play. And he's probably seen other people out there who are getting to play in their positions of strength and look better for it, and he's not, right? Xhaka we don't want him on the field, but he's in probably the best position he's going to be in for this team right now. You do that to Torreira. Think about it. This is another thing. If you put some, we talk about this all the time, right? Sometimes the manager needs to put his hand around a player and get him on his side, right? Is Torreira a better player than Elneny now? I kind of feel like he could be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the potential. Definitely.
Yeah, the bullying part, that has to be handled by the leadership in the squad, and we don't have it. The leadership in the squad. It doesn't mean a captain. If one of us is getting bullied, I have no doubt somebody else will come in, no matter who's the leader of the ship, right? And say, you know what, this isn't happening.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, it depends who it is. I might join in with them. I'm joking.
You gotta.
Not really.
No, but you know what I mean.
That guy that's always egging them on in the background.
I know. He's like.
You never got caught.
I told you not to say those bad words. Stan's the one like, no problem, man. Slaps him on the back and it's got the little sticker saying, hit me. That's Stan. No, but I kind of feel like this is another situation to me, just like Saliba. It's a player that you need to get on your side. He didn't even come. When the season's over, he didn't even come when he was supposed to. Come on.
That's right. He was at the amusement park, wasn't he?
Yeah, you cannot run a team like that.
He's running around. And
think about it. You're
Was
paying.
it some kind of self-isolation thing though, where he couldn't travel, or did he not report back? Do we know that?
You told the whole summer, like the whole preseason? Even if he had to spend 2 weeks preparing for the move, he didn't come at all. He just got here, right? That's the team saying, you know what, you can stay. But I think that's actually a bad move because now, he, like you said, he needs to actually be out there playing and you put him in situations that make him look good, right? Maybe he does find that he does like football again, and maybe it's not here, but at least maybe you'll get a little bit more money for him because you know what? He actually is a better player than what people say, right? So I kind of feel like you're devaluing your players. Arsenal does that too many times. This is a situation where they've done it again, and they're gonna, they end up gonna have they're gonna pay him to leave, right? No, you have depth problems in the midfield. Depth problems in the midfield, depth problems at center back, and you're just letting these players go, right?
Yeah. Right.
Team players with talent that you're letting go, and how in the world are you gonna? How you can't survive that way? That's what you don't have the money, you don't have the talent, and you're letting the talent walk out the door.
How long does he have left in his contract, Lucas Torreira? Do we know? Because I would say that he would be a player that, if you're going to sell him, he would be one that I would want to get my money back on. I'm not maybe looking to make a profit, but I don't think that his value should be going down. Do you know what I mean? Then again, no. He went to Atletico Madrid, and for whatever reason, it didn't. I heard reports that he started to find it difficult to get into their team as well, right? People say he's homesick. as I say, what is his home? Is it Italy or Spain? That's where he's been playing, right? He's not going to go back to
Uruguay.
So he didn't really do well, did he? At Atletico, couldn't get in the team, could he? Maybe they bought him because they thought that he was going to play next to Thomas Partey, and then we took Partey in the middle of the night. We went in the middle of the night and just paid the league, didn't we? One off with Thomas Partey.
That was a nice podcast.
On their doorstep.
About a year ago. Nice podcast. That was.
They have to get something for him, like you said. They can't afford to be giving money away.
No.
You know, this is you cannot be giving especially when you have players that are. Does anybody think he's not decent enough to make it on another team in Europe? I mean,
he can definitely do a job for somebody. Don Juan, thoughts on Ramsdale getting abuse from our fan base online? This fan base has forgotten what it means to support a club. We did. It was the second segment on the podcast, so if you want at the end, Don, just scroll back a little bit, and we spent about 20-25 minutes on it. Basically, I think it's the younger generation. It's the FIFA generation, but I think the goalkeeper can come good. We'll see though. We'll see what happens.
I think that if you want to go on Twitter, for example, if I want to go on Twitter and text Sam and say we're getting this Ramsdale guy, I'm not really that up on him. I think he's a bit shit. I've got no problem with that. Right? You don't have to act the player in the tweet, right, to make him aware. You don't have to go to his page and say, you're joining our club, you're fucking shit, fuck off. You don't have to go to Instagram and start harassing his family and friends and next door neighbours and people that drink in the pub. That's over the line. But if you want to go on Twitter and just chat, and say, I'm not really impressed with this, there's no problem with that.
Nah, that's true, yeah.
You're not getting him involved, you're not dragging him in by atting him so he sees it. There's no problem. But when you do all the other stuff I just mentioned, I don't get that.
Yeah, no, I am. I don't know if you guys read any of James Rowe. He does these interviews with players. Yeah. And today he did his interview on an official, a really popular official, I think, in the Premier League. And it ended up making it to FIFA as an official. And, the thing he said in there is that,
Mark Halsey.
Yeah.
Mark
Halsey.
Yeah, I actually do remember the face when I see it. But
one of the better ones.
Yeah, he said, you know what? I don't mind taking. I'll take all the abuse. I will take all the abuse because that's part of the job. Referees, when they go out there, people are screaming at them the whole game. That comes with the territory because either they make a mistake or they don't make the call that you want. But he said, you know what? The only problem he had with it is when they go after his wife and his kid. That's really that's the only problem he had. Is like, you know what? Part of it is he is sitting out there taking bullets all day, all right? From the players and from the fans, from the coaches, everybody. But he said, you know what? That's the only thing. Just my family, my wife and my daughter. Nah, you can't now. And the governments and the companies that allow this need to stop it.
It's one of the reasons why I don't like female officials in a male game, and the reason for that is I can't remember. There was a game that I saw without a female referee, and I think it was a Chelsea game, and I can't remember who the player was, but something happened and the ref called up whatever, and the guy running up to the ref and then stopped but was really shouting, and I just think to myself, it's because it's such an emotional game when you have female officials. It's just a bad look to have a guy gesticulating and arguing about something. I'm not saying that she can't handle herself at all. I just think it's a bad look.
Yeah,
I thought
it was Aguero too. Rohan said Aguero. I think
I started talking about that, but there you
go. Yeah. Tony.
As I say, Torreira has 2 more years left on his contract.
Yeah. Listen, probably what Don Juan is saying here is probably a podcast all of itself here. We're sick and tired of the fan base right now. It's so counterproductive. I always think of it this way, lads.
It's not the entire fan base, right?
I think
there are segments. There are segments.
Social media.
I mean, because we are part of the fan base, but we're not the ones that are being counterproductive, are we?
No.
And we're allowed to talk about our team positively or negatively, depending on what's going on. But we're not going out there trying to, as much as I don't like Jacques, all the things that we're doing, that were happening to his family, nah. That's too far. You know what? I'll talk about your quality of play. That's it. It's really all I got. I don't really know your personal life, so I can't get in there. So
you can still set it to private.
Have a set of morals, and draw the line there, and that's where it needs to be. I think though that Arsenal, we have fans from all different walks of life, all different age groups, and you're just going to get that cross section of different viewpoints. And I hate those tweets where people say, "Oh, this section of fans said this thing," and then they go back and say the other thing. No, it's a different set of people. It's not the same people.
People can change their opinions on things, right? There was a long period of time where I wasn't really that impressed with Nicolas Pepe, and on podcasts, I was saying things like, "We had our pants pulled down there. That's not worth what we've paid. We had our pants pulled down." But towards the end of last season, but I also said that I think that it was a player that needed a run of games. I said that you spoke about it, Ray. He needs consistency. And I've changed my mind on him now. I think that he can make a contribution. It doesn't mean that you flip-flop. It just means that things change. Players change in what their effort that they're putting in, and you change your opinions. I hated it when we signed Danny Welbeck. As soon as I heard the leaks, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to. Fast forward a year later, I got quite fond of the lad. He turned me around. My opinion changed. Doesn't mean I'm a flip-flop. This means that I've just changed my mind.
Stan, that brings me around to thinking teams can game plan for us. So Pepe stepped forward at the end of last season, but we've seen Brentford, and I know that's not our first team that went out against Brentford. They're going to game plan against Saka. They're going to game plan against Pepe and maybe Emile Smith-Rowe, and they know we're toothless outside of that.
Well, that's the problem for me, though. If you play as 11, it doesn't matter because you pick on Emile Smith-Rowe, you pick on Saka, you pick on Pepe. Guess what? There's a teammate around the corner that should be the release, right? And I think that's the problem. We didn't even see it. If you look at the Brentford game, how many times did Pepe get the ball out there on the wing and he's by himself, right? Mm-hmm. And then a couple of times he did, Chambers actually did make the run up there and do the overlap. And Pepe probably didn't, at that point probably given up because he wasn't even looking for that pass. And I'm like, you know what? It's got to be 11. We can't. It's easy to stop 3 people if the rest of the other people don't do their job. Right?
Let me ask you this. We got one more. Gary and I have this bet going about the majority of the transfer window, and I'm leading right now 3-2.
No. No, don't say that on camera. Come on. I've got my tourney down there in the bottom right. What is he? Sam, tell him.
Rohan, step in as well. We can listen Rohan as well.
Rohan does not know what you're talking about. He's not. He's on my side anyways, right, Stan?
What do you mean? You can retain him. Yeah.
I talked to Stan, and Stan talked to Rohan. He's not. No.
I don't think that. I don't think
Sam's just making ready.
All right.
I don't think Brentford got the best of us because of the personnel that we put out. Just what you said a moment ago. I think Brentford got the best of us because they nullified us because they knew exactly what we were going to do. We would have played the same way down the left, the way that we play. That's what the problem is. It wasn't the personnel. It was the style of play, and they saw it coming.
But they stopped Pepe and they stopped Saka.
It's the way that we're playing. It's all coming down the left. They know that you can let's let Tierney run all the way up the left and then we'll deal with it then. Let's see what they've got. It's almost, and we know that it's coming. They're going to try and play out from the back, so play the high press. They'll make a mistake. They'll kick it to a centre back and then he'll kick it back to the goalkeeper. When they do that, make sure that you're going in there because the goalkeeper will fluff his lines and fumble. You don't know what to do when you're coming in on him and you make a wrong pass. It's all this sort of stuff. And it's happening all the time now. And Brentford, that's what Brentford did. I don't think it was to do with the personnel. And I'm so glad, and I mean this in the best ways, that we don't have Lacazette, Partey, and Aubameyang playing because I want this team to redeem themselves. There's certain players that I want to take a look at again. I want to know whether that was first game jitters, weren't prepared into the team, and they've had now a whole week to do more training, I'm glad that we haven't been able to switch him out, and then we're left with that question mark. I want to see our £50 million centre back again. Our £50 million centre back is going to go up against Lukaku.
Yeah.
And if you're saying that, well, maybe he's not the right guy or whatever, well, dem's the breaks, because we've paid for him. If we take him out of the game and put someone else in, then to me, I'm like, then we shouldn't have bought him. If you're going to take him out against Chelsea because you think he might not be able to handle Lukaku, I'm going to put this guy in instead. Then we should.
Ben White. Ben White's going to play.
If he was still at Brighton, would he have the same issues?
Say again.
When Brighton plays Chelsea, and he was still on the team, would he have the same issues?
That's Brighton's problem, right?
No, I'm just saying he's not going away from Lukaku.
Yeah. We paid 50 million for him. So what I'm saying is, do or die, you got to keep him in there. And if it means that we maybe have to go to a formation where it's 3 at the back to contain the system, that's all well and good. But again, if Ben White is fit, for me, he just has to play now. He cost 50 million. I want to see it. I need to see it.
Outside of Saka, that's the only person that I believe should come in.
Definitely Stan.
As far as I'm concerned.
We pay 50 million for a defender. He better play most games that he can. But Rohan made me the happiest guy in the world tonight by keeping me as I'm a retainer. Retainer guy.
Sam's got seagulls.
You can't defend bullshit, man.
Hey, you haven't seen Rohan at work. He can defend bullshit.
We all have
the Chewbacca defense. Don't make no sense.
We all live different lives, right? Ray's got him on retainer. I've got him on pro bono. It's just,
I have retainers and boners and I don't know.
I want to do a couple more things. We're going to be going for another 45 minutes here. So
Ray doesn't pay me enough to keep him on retainer.
I hope Darren and Sam are hanging in there. Are you good, Darren?
Yep.
All right, Gary, kick us off. I want you got one more transfer to make it 3-3 this window.
You did not win. Can we get over this, please?
Ray, come on. Ray, don't turn into a Tony now. Come on.
Come on. The bet was
Tony's better at math.
Tony's on my side.
Tony, at least we know Tony's got a reason why he can't do math.
What position are you filling, Gary? What position you want to?
For me, the next position should be midfield. Be it Basuma, be it Awara.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I just think we need the depth in the midfield. Every match we go through, what do we talk about? How we get run over in the midfield. That's got to stop at some point, right? Aubameyang is practicing. He's probably going to play. We're not going to be able to sell him, and we need to get his goal. So he's not going to go anywhere as far as I'm concerned right now. If they could sell him and not upgrade, but get another player in, so be it, right? But I think he's going to play. He's going to start. So midfield, fill the midfield with as many players as you can. We need it. We need the depth there. Give me a midfielder. I'll take Basuma. Right. I'll take Awara. They're both around the same amount of money. I think Basuma's actually a little bit more. But I think we need to fill that midfield.
Yep. All right. Why isn't Darren talking? Well, he's next.
Because we talk too much. We talk too much. That's why we keep going on.
I'll talk for Darren now.
Tony and Darren have to get more, about it. Darren, where are you spending Arsenal's money next?
I'm going to go a little bit sort of overboard because since he sort of wants to leave by Munich, I want to go striker for Lewandowski. That's not enough go up, and so I'm just going to leave it on that.
I like your position. That's what I'm saying. I'm liking the position that you want to fill, a striker. And I think we need goals in this team, and I'm worried that Aubameyang, Lacazette, Eddie are not going to do it. I think the wings can do it. I think we can chip in here and there, but most of your goals are going to come from strikers. And I think
Sorry, go on, Darren.
Go there.
What I was going to say, the opinion I've got with Aubameyang, they always say play for the shirt and play for the badge. I think he just plays for the money at the minute. It's all about the money. It's not about the badge.
There's the line from tonight. That's a good line.
All players that I know and any Arsenal fan will say, you play for your badge. You play for the club that's above you. But he doesn't. I feel he just plays for more the money, the lifestyle. There's no passion with him. There's no sort of hunger. Like, am I wrong, or am I don't know if that's the right thing to say, or
no, you're right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Dead right.
Yeah.
I think
if he played with passion, he would never be late for a North London derby.
Yeah,
he would never. He would be there before. He would be you're the captain of Arsenal. You're playing North London derby. You're the first player there, right? No way you're late. Much less, maybe you're the second player there, but you're not late. Nah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Can I just say one thing as well? What Gary said there about getting one more position in. If we're going to get, I would think for me, if we're only going to get one more person to come in,
one more.
Now that we've got Odegaard, I don't want Aouar because we've got ESR, Odegaard. I think if we're going to bring in one more, for me, I would like to bring in another midfielder, but I would like it to be someone like a Basuma, another defensive midfielder, a central defensive midfielder. That way, then I would like to have. Xhaka moved into the squad where he's now a backup for Partey. When Partey can't play, that's when I want to see Xhaka come in. I want to see someone else next to Partey. Do you know what I mean? I don't want Xhaka to be that guy. I want Xhaka to come in if and when Partey can't play. And I'd like to have a defensive midfielder, and that way then we can use Lokonga as the backup to that person. You see where I'm coming from? And then we've got Odegaard and ESR doing our creative stuff. They may even be able to play together. But I think that we're in the market, for me, for a central defensive midfielder. If we're not going to get anything out of Torreira and he's going to leave, and then maybe the next window, then we look at the forwards. We've got a lot of forwards. It's just we just don't seem to be playing the system. I want to say that we don't seem to be playing a system that gets anything out of them. But again, Aubameyang's been getting into shooting positions and just been fluffing his lines. So I don't know what the answer is.
Mm-hmm. No, neither does Arteta. Sam.
I'm not paid $5 million to make those decisions like he is.
Yeah. Sam, you got 30 million. Where are you going to put it? Which position?
When I'm looking at the team and what we need right now, the most for me, well, with 30 million, you're not going to do much with that, are you?
You got a little bit more. Which just fill the position.
I'm going striker. I really am. I'm going striker.
Bump up the money.
I'm going striker because we can use. For me, we can use something that works at right back. I don't think. I think if we play with a fully fit Thomas Partey together with an Odegaard and ESR, with just one pivot, I think we can do a lot of damage going forward. For me at the moment, I don't see where the goals are coming from. Lacazette is not going to score more than 10, maybe 15 goals at most. Or Aubameyang, he couldn't hit a donkey's ass with a banjo. He's just completely gone off a cliff. Where he's gone, I don't know. And you've got Balogun, who just needs a loan. He's got a lot of potential there, but he's not going to be a Premier League striker this season. So who else you got? That's it, right? Martinelli. There's a lot of rumours of him coming in potentially as a striker against Chelsea on Sunday. For me, again, yes, the boy's got a lot of talent, but he's just not going to be a leading striker this season. So for me, we need a goal scorer. Someone who scores goals. And if we had some balls and some ambition, we would go and get Lewandowski, who says he wants a new challenge, right? Even though he's 32, whatever he is, the guy can still bang 40 goals a season. So go and get him, or even maybe put our chances on a Calvert-Lewin from Everton, or even maybe try an Edouard from Celtic. See how he does. Just for me. Right now, we need a striker. That's what I'm seeing.
I have a funny feeling it's going to be that player from Celtic that
Could happen.
Stan's been talking about him for 2.5 seasons, probably.
Edouard. Just on the Edouard.
Yeah.
It's in the price bracket, but when I look at the way that we play, and I'm a striker kind of a person. I love strikers and centre forwards and that. And I think of, who should we buy to play in our team? What kind of striker fits the profile? I find it difficult to find one that fits into this team, because the way that we play our football and the way that the strikers are used, it's a weird kind of a style. I don't know how. I mean, are we playing with a striker that's going to come back to the edge of the centre circle? Is that what we're looking for? Because that's another midfielder, isn't it? I don't understand how I would find, Lautaro Martinez. How is he going to? Let's say we've got him, how would he be expected to play? How Lacazette's been playing? I don't know. I don't understand how our team fits a striker in how I like a striker to play.
Well, that's where you would spend the money, Stan?
Yeah. Sorry. I thought he was talking about me again. Sorry.
Stan.
Yeah. What's the question?
You're being indecisive like Arsenal about where you want to spend your money.
Well, no, I just don't know how we. I look at the way that we play, and I'm not sure what kind of striker fits the profile for this style. I know the sort of striker that I like and the way that they kind of play, but I find it difficult to find one that we would fit into this profile of playing. They would have to do something different because
almost any other striker will fit.
Just Tony go. Let Tony go before he gets upset.
Well, first, Don Juan, Patson Daka went to Leicester. Eduardo is still at Celtic. Tony?
Well, Stan always mentions this striker, compares him to Lacazette, compares that he made half as much. If we had Giroud back, doing all the crosses that Tierney does, he'd be the perfect fit. Because he scored over.
Yeah, he would.
He
would.
Giroud could probably still do a job,
Yeah.
He probably could.
He would. He's a bit of a lamppost, and that might fit what we're looking for.
No, I agree with you, Stan. What we got to do is the striker who's playing actually has to be a striker and not fall back into midfield like a false nine and link up. I mean, Laka does do that well, but at the end of the day, it leaves that hole in the box, So there's not someone in there to finish. But for me, if we could keep someone up front there, not bring them into midfield, then for me at the moment, and of course this is never going to happen, but someone like a Lewandowski who's looking for a new challenge, I mean, the guy can finish anything with his eyes closed. He can head the ball, finish from anywhere. So for me, he would be a fantastic striker for us. But apart from that, you're looking at Calvert-Lewin. Is he going to be doing it? You're right. Edouard, is he going to do it? I don't know. It's
Rafa Benitez would not let us get DCL, right?
No, probably not.
No way. I think it's going to be Edouard or nothing. Tony, what position?
Well, I always keep mentioning midfield. We need a central defensive midfielder, but I think we can get that with Torreira or Chambers. To me, it has to be striker. I think we need two strikers. I'd use the money we got on Willock to go buy Edouard. Then I'd try to make out a trade with either Lacazette or Aubameyang going, so we can get Martinez. Martinez is who I'd go for.
Wow. Okay. All right. Listen, we want to get into previewing the Premier League pretty soon, but we're going to ask you one question. I put a poll out. Tony, I'll start you off. I put a poll out. You might have seen it. I want all of you to answer this. Will Arsenal finish higher than 8th, or will they finish 8th or lower, Tony, this season?
Depends how quickly we fire Arteta.
Oh, right.
It was an A or B, and you didn't pick either. Option A, higher than 8th. Option B, lower than 8th.
I'll go A. We're not fucking fire Arteta before the second international break.
Did he say A, Gary? I think he said A.
He did answer it, and then he had to add his flowery language.
69% went for higher than 8th place. 31% went lower than 8th.
How do you always end up at 69, Ray? You're up 369.
I thought it was an interesting number myself. Gary?
Yeah, I did my little preview for the season and kind of looked at all the places that I thought Arsenal would finish, and I had them finish in between 5th and 7th. There'd be a little improvement. 5th, I think, would be really, really good. I don't see it. I mean, based on do we want to play in the 7th? I don't know. Maybe if we're getting prepared for a season in the Champions League, 7th would be okay because now we could expand the roster. and get the youth, the younger players playing. So yeah, between 5 and 7, so higher for me.
Okay, higher or lower? Seems like that card game, Darren. Higher or lower? Bruce Forsyth. Bruce Forsyth, right?
I'm going to go.
Play your cards right.
Play your cards right.
I'm going to go a little bit high.
Higher than an 8.
I'm going to go about 6th. So I'm
Okay.
being very optimistic about it.
Higher or lower than an 8, Sam?
I think it's a bit unfair to ask that question now before the end of the transfer window, because
you want the same odds that you got on the Arsenal match where you got to put your upset pick in the day of. By then, like, Arsenal had lost all of their starters, and it was easy.
No. I predicted that before I knew Lacquer and what's his face were missing. I predicted that before that, but yes, okay. Anyway, I think if we actually do, I mean, it's unlikely, but if we actually do bring in 1 or 2 more important players, it changes a lot our outlook for the season. So a lot is based on that. But if I'm going to go, how I'm going to answer this question is, if I'm going from right now and we have no more transfers, I go from right now, what I think is happening with us, with Arteta and everything, I don't think we're going to go above 8th. I think we'll go below 8th now with Arteta.
Unless I want all of you to come back 2 weeks from now. We're going to do a prediction podcast. Stan, for now it's just fun. Higher or lower than an 8? What would Bruce Forsyth say?
He go, all right, my loves. That's what he'd say, wouldn't he? I would think, I actually believe that there are a lot of managers out there that with this team could finish higher than 8th. That's the thing. I do believe that. So
I'm asking you.
I see where Tony was coming from, right? Because the actual personnel, I believe, has it in them to get higher than 8th. So, okay, if the manager's not going to change, then no.
Rohan is instructing all of you to put disclaimers in there and insert clauses in your answers.
Yeah.
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no answer.
Right has got me covered,
I got Sam to back me up. So Rohan, watch your back. Watch your back. I got a Viking, and an Englishman all mixed into one. So don't mess.
I'm the 80. I'm the Johnny Cochran of this.
I actually forget what everybody said. So Stan, you said higher, right, Stan?
Did you say Johnny Cochran? More like fucking Perry Mason.
Look, I expect this from Rohan. I don't expect this from you guys.
Stan said lower because I
think. Okay, let's look at it. If we're going to stay out where we are now, the personnel and everything, then I don't think we're going to finish higher than 8th. No.
All right, I think we will. I think Gary.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming, Ray.
Gary said between 5th and 7th, so I'm in the same boat as Gary.
Yeah, but he smokes weed every day.
Right, you're the sort of guy that when you look at a horse racing, I bet when you look at a horse racing, right, you put all of your
weed every day.
Ray's the sort of guy that if he bets on a horse race, you'll put all of your money on the horse. That's at evens.
Ray calls them peonies.
No, you always go with evens, right?
That's true. It's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Go with the chalk. That's what they say. Go with the chalk.
So it's only me and Stan who thinks we're right now at this position we'll go below 8th. Everyone else thinks we're above 8th.
You guys are expecting Arteta to still have his job, right?
Well, that's what I'm basing on. Yeah, that's what I'm basing it on.
But that can't be that. That's you don't know that. It's like saying, like, you know what? I don't know if all the players are going to be healthy. So go based on what I see now.
Yeah.
So it could go either way. We could be finishing 10th because we have all these injuries, or we could finish 6th because the players actually, do whatever Arteta says and it works. Or Arteta's not here. So
2 Thursdays from now, we'll be back. We're not leaving now. We got to get through the Premier League here. 2 Thursdays from now, we'll be doing a prediction podcast, and we'll know what the window looks like.
How many Thursdays?
2. All right.
So who got that upset last week? It would have been whoever picked Watford over West Ham, right? I imagine.
Nope.
I got Brentford.
He picked Brentford.
Is that enough? Okay. Did anyone pick the Watford game over West Ham last week?
No, it was Newcastle West Ham. Watford over Aston Villa.
Yeah, that was the Watford one. Did anybody pick Watford?
No.
Okay.
No. Are you going with Watford this week?
Who they got?
I might do. Brighton. It's not an upset.
Away.
You can't pick them.
Home or away? Yeah,
They're not lower.
They're missing Ben White. They're nothing without Ben White. They're going to lose Brighton. They're nothing without Ben White.
You can only pick the team that's lower, and actually they're playing a team that's higher in Brighton. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to finish between 9th and 12th, I think, Lumbercamp says. Okay, let's get into the Premier League upsets here. Gary, Liverpool, 3rd place versus Burnley at home. Liverpool at home.
Oof. Oh, that's a nice. I mean, I didn't look at all the picks yet, so I'm not really. I might have to come back, but that's definitely. I could see Liverpool winning that one. So yeah, I'm Liverpool for me. So not my upset pick.
Yeah, and we'll move through these pretty quick, the easy ones. And we see Sam here out to a 12-point lead, courtesy of Brentford beating Arsenal.
Yeah, but did Sam pick that before or after?
It was well before the game.
I know. I woke up and I saw that
Yes.
our players weren't playing, and then I saw Sam's pick.
But
That's all I'm saying.
Thailand. I was in Thailand.
I'm not. That's all I'm saying.
You woke up seeing they were not playing.
Okay,
Sam.
Woody's got 2-0 Liverpool. Darren, what do you got? Liverpool, pretty straightforward game. Burnley should be cut and dry, right?
I'm gonna go for a win for Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah. Burnley, they'll only give us a tough game in a few weeks, Sam. But Liverpool should be able to navigate Burnley pretty easily, right?
Yeah, they should do. Liverpool I think they're going to get back to more the team we're used to seeing this season. So yeah, they should dispatch.
I have only got one question mark about Van Dijk, and if he's going to feel really, really good at the top level against the best teams, he may struggle. So what I'm calling tier 1 is a race for top 4. Liverpool could struggle in that section. Stan maybe will come back to us. Who knows? Tony.
Liverpool,
Burnley, pretty straightforward. I'll go with the same. Liverpool win. I think most people have as well. Next one, Tony, you start off. Aston Villa, 11th place versus Newcastle, 15. Two teams actually lost last week.
Draw.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. A draw there.
Southern draw, like Sam down there in the corner.
Let's see where Stan slots in. Oh, you are left back, Stan. Aston Villa versus Newcastle, Stan.
Did I not miss one? We're talking about Burnley.
Yeah, Liverpool, Burnley.
Right, Burnley. Right, okay. So no, sorry. I just want to. I like VAR. There's nothing wrong with VAR. So Liverpool, it all depends.
I love the VAR sign, Darren.
It's like Fozzie Berry in a way. It's got a channel. Liverpool, isn't it? Liverpool. So what was the next one? Newcastle.
Newcastle away to Aston Villa.
I'm gonna go Newcastle. I've got a thing about Aston Villa at the moment. They're getting my fucking tits at the minute. All that Emmy Martinez shit and all that ESR shit. Fuck them.
And it's not going to be your upset yet, right? Is it?
Yeah, is that considered an upset then? Is it?
Yeah, it would be. Newcastle beating Villa. Well, right now they're lower in the table.
Okay, fuck it. I'll pick that as an upset then.
All right.
Okay.
We've been doing this last season. We might have a slight advantage over you. Yeah, look at him. He's giving it large. I think Aston Villa win that game, Gary.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, no,
that was a great game. Newcastle against West Ham last week. Great game. I really enjoyed it.
Well,
we'd like Arsenal to play like that.
It's Newcastle, right? So that's Willock, right? It'd be his first time with a shirt on, right?
Hat trick incoming. One of them like chipped in, like one of them backheeled in past the goalkeeper. Like,
I need. That might be a safe bet, but it's only like what 4 points. So
4 points, but the gap. Mind the gap.
True.
12 points to Sam.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Aston Villa though. They're playing home. And Willock might do. He might show us that we wasted our. We might have should have kept our 25 mil. So.
All right, Darren.
I'm going for
Newcastle.
I'm going for an upset as well.
Okay, Newcastle. You're going for Newcastle. Are you getting in? You getting in this league, Darren?
Yes.
All right. So we'll have some more. I'll put you in. Sam, Aston Villa, Newcastle.
Yeah, I think Villa's going to bounce back and win this one.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of a. Somebody said last week that Martinez didn't play well, but I think he had one deflected over him. The other was a really, really good goal. But I think Villa will probably win that game. Tony.
I already answered. I said draw, damn it.
I always forget that. I always forget when I start. Tony, you start off. Palace versus Brentford. Interesting game for Patrick Vieira back home, having played Chelsea last weekend. Now he's going to play.
Where are they playing at, Ray?
Selhurst Park. That doesn't get old, does it? It never gets old.
It never gets old. I'm trying to decide between two games on my upset special.
Mm-hmm. Well, your upset would be Palace beating Brentford.
It could be that, or it could be Leeds beating.
That'd be an upset. Palace beating Brentford.
Yeah, it's going off of your league position. The team has to be lower than the other team.
Upsets, man.
That's not a bad
I'll go with Big Pat.
I might take.
That's an
You're
upset.
going to take that as your upset, Patrick?
No, I'm not. I'm going to stick with what I originally had.
Stan, you can change your mind if you want.
This is going to be a draw, but it won't be my upset.
Palace versus Brentford. Patrick Vieira, he'll need to get a tune out of Crystal Palace.
Draw. A draw.
Okay. Gary, it's a very key game for Vieira. Early in his English Premier League managerial career.
Yeah. This is Crystal Palace, right? From Brentford. Ooh.
Pick a team, Gary.
Sam, I'm trying to bait him to take this one.
It's either I take this or I take the other one that Tony was talking about. So he wants me to take it because he has to go after me so he can choose. This is how it works in this.
That's how he won
in this universe,
year.
right? He just picks against me every time. And I was going through a bad streak, but yeah, I'm gonna.
Conspiracy theories.
Yes. Oh, so it's either I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, I'll do it. You got
it's early in the season.
It's Crystal Palace is at home. They're gonna.
Surprise.
You know what? It'll make the Brentford loss to feel a little bit better if that happens because I don't want them to win again. That would that just rub some more salt in the wound, especially with our next two matches going on.
I'm gonna go with that one as well, Gary. I'm gonna go Palace to beat Brentford as well.
Is that your upset?
Yes. Sam.
We've got to go Darren first, isn't you?
I think we talked to Darren about. Did we? Palace. Okay, but go ahead, Darren. I hope he's having a stinker tonight.
Just because he used to be one of our own, I'm going for Crystal Palace.
Yeah. My second team, Sam.
No, it's not going to be my upset pick. I think the game's going to be a draw.
It's not going to be upset.
Nah, I think it'll be a draw of the game.
Alonso, I think Alonso's happy about Odegaard.
He just wants
Tony, what have you got?
I said,
okay.
Already picked.
I don't think Ray's brain is working at the moment.
I was asking you what have you got for Leeds?
He's seen two Tonys. Now it's making sense now why you keep calling his name every cycle.
How much did you have to drink, Ray?
Lemonade. Leeds versus Everton.
I already said Leeds is my upset.
Okay.
Next game.
Wow. Stan.
Everton.
Okay.
Everton win. I'm on the Rafa train.
Yeah. What about Bielsa? They've got to win. They're coming back to Ellen Road. They got to get a win under the belt as well. These are interesting times, Gary. Some teams won't want to lose two on the trot.
Yeah, there was two choices I had, and you know what, this one's even a bigger upset, right? So
yeah, I don't think Leeds are going to beat Everton.
I don't. Yeah, but you never like this is. I think this is no different than last season. You don't know what Leeds team you're going to get, right? So they can go out there and give up like 3 goals easy, or they can go out there and score like 3 goals easy. You never know. So I do think Everton. It's this, and also this is the early part of the season. So like last season, Everton started out really strong, and then came back to earth, right? So they're going to start out strong again. So they'll win this one. Surprise win on the road for Everton.
Don Juan's got 1-1. Reddy's got 2-1 to Leeds. Darren, second season syndrome for Leeds, maybe. They got a guard against that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Leeds as well.
A lot of people firmly on the Leeds train, Sam.
Yeah, I'm picking Leeds as well. That's going to be my upset. I think Leeds.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure that I'm far from sure they're going to win the game, of course, but it seems like a good possibility, so that's why I'm going for them.
You got a nice lead. You're out in front there, and all you got to do is
it'll be way more fun if he wins.
But it gets very nervous toward the end of the season. Gary tried to maintain the gap.
Yeah, the math changes all of a sudden. So
you
start losing points you start losing points that I don't even know how you lose points in this thing.
Not true.
I kept picking Leeds, and Ray wasn't giving me points for him. I'm not sure how that works.
So, Tony, Manchester City are in 13th place, and they are at home to Norwich City.
City win easily.
Yeah, and this time of the season, Stan, you're going to have the placings are a little bit weird. The City lost to the Scum on Sunday. They're going to easily probably get a win against Norwich, right?
Yeah, Manchester City to win. Move on.
Move along. Nothing to see here. Gary?
Easy one, yep. City wins.
Darren?
Yeah, I'll go City.
Sam, did you see City on Sunday?
No, I just saw some highlights, but they're not gonna drop points against Norwich after dropping points against Scum. So yeah, they're gonna win.
Yeah. Tony, Brighton at home to Watford.
This week's Who Gives a Fuck game?
No, Stan did. Stan was he started off talking about Watford. He cares about Watford.
Yeah, it'd be a close game. I think Watford pulls it off.
Hey,
Watford.
They probably got 3 points. I mean,
there's always a team that jumps out on first 3 or 4 games that win the first 3 or 4. They're like the surprise package. Stan, it could be Watford.
No, this one I'm going to go for a draw.
Okay, not going to be this one. I think Watford beat Brighton, Gary.
I'm easy draw for me.
I like watching these back on the Saturday and seeing how we did. It's interesting. Darren?
I'm actually going to go for Brighton to win.
Brighton, yeah. Okay. And Sam?
Draw.
Southern draw.
Oh,
it's coming, fellas. It's coming.
There it came.
Chat room. I think it's breaking through. I think the southern man's,
2 hours,
breaking
2 hours
through.
minutes.
Hey boy.
All right, we're gonna finish these.
Look mighty fine them jeans.
We'll finish these.
That's not this.
We'll finish this out. Have a quick chat about the Arsenal on Sunday, and then final thoughts and get out of here. All right, Tony. Southampton at home to Manchester United. Can they upset United?
They could, but they won't. United wins.
Stan, last week Norma had a good shout. Southampton to get relegated.
What I got this week?
Manchester United.
United wins.
Mm-hmm. Gary, I hate to say it, but I don't think Southampton are going to put a big enough fight up against United.
Yeah, Southampton will lose.
Okay. Darren?
I'm going for a draw.
2-2. Reddy's got 2-2 as well. Ray Anderson's got United in there. Sam?
I think United are performing. They're performing well at the moment. I think they'll beat Southampton.
Put on the aftershow. We're getting there. The landing gear is going to come down soon. Tony, Wolves versus Tottenham.
Nuno's new team.
Stan, is Nuno the real deal?
Not really, but I think they're going to beat Wolves.
Yeah, they probably have enough to beat Wolves, right, Gary?
Yeah, I mean, isn't Harry Kane probably going to come back for that match anyways? You don't think he's going to come back? You think he's done?
I think he's going to City.
Yeah.
Do you think he's really going to do that? Be that person who holds out?
There's rumors today. He hasn't been training with Tottenham again, and at the press conference after the game or before the game today, they asked the question about Kane, and what's his face, the new manager said he couldn't comment on the situation. He couldn't comment, so it looks like he's very close to City.
Crazy, yeah. Well,
Okay.
Well, then they can go get Lewandowski, right, and still have money for other things, right?
Darren wanted to talk about a skydiving fundraiser.
Yeah. Let's get through to West Ham Leicester, and then we'll jump into that, Darren.
Yep.
or dive into that. Tony, West Ham Leicester. This is what I'm calling a tier 2 game. These are our rivals in the league.
They have a best result for us is a draw, so I'll go with a draw.
Stan, West Ham versus Leicester. These are the teams we should be competing against this year. I'll go counterclockwise. Sam?
West Ham, Leicester, I can see a draw there.
West Ham played really well last week.
But Leicester is still a decent team, so, I think maybe draw.
I'll take West Ham to win that one. I think they played well last season. They're riding the wave of last season, and they're going to hit something eventually. It's probably Europa League. It's going to stretch their squad. Darren, West Ham versus Leicester.
I'm going for Leicester to win.
Gary?
Yeah, both teams get a point.
Two teams riding the wave, right? Leicester won the FA Cup, won the Community Shield.
Yep.
Leicester win. They won 1-0 against Wolves, right?
Yes.
Stan, West Ham versus Leicester, Stan?
Leicester.
Okay. Darren, you are going to be doing something very, very brave.
Or something very, very stupid, whichever.
Was there a potato sack on your back?
Yeah.
He'll probably jump out with potatoes
on your back.
Yeah, well, so basically, I do a lot of charity fundraising stuff. I'm doing something a little bit different, and that is skydiving for Willow Foundation and the York Dance Project as well. So I've decided to jump out of a plane for it.
Right.
When are you going to do that?
It's going to be in June next year. Bear in mind, I'm scared of heights, so...
That keep you out of a plane?
Just close your eyes. Eyes.
Yeah.
Cool. Just to make sure, we haven't actually done the Arsenal match. Is there a reason? Are we saving it?
Yeah, we're coming to that next.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Darren, you got a whole year to adjust to it. Is there anything you can do to sort of like get over that fear? Have you researched anything?
Yeah, I've just watched a lot of VR videos on YouTube. So all like the donations links are on my page, so people can just check it out on my page, and if they wish to donate, they can. So
and when this video is downloaded, whatever, I'll go and copy and paste those in here in the description as well. So Yeah, listen, you're going to be on this podcast a few more times. You'll have more time to talk about it as well. And, please support Darren. He's going to do something that's going to take him out of his element, out of his comfort zone. So big up. So congratulations.
Yeah, big up, Darren. Hope we get loads of support for it.
Definitely.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah. As Brady said, big up, Darren. So go check out at Dazerboy. What's your Twitter handle exactly again?
Dazerboy, Gunnar Arsenal, Dazerboy, something like that anyway. It's
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
You change it a lot.
I know.
Stan, you got anything else?
No, man.
Anyone else? We're going to jump into the Arsenal. Tony's got something. One of the two Tonys.
Is Darren watch his cat drop from the ceiling when he hangs, and that's how he's learned how to land good when he jumps out of a plane.
She'll be staying at home. She'll be safe at home. Trust me. I think my cat. I think she'll have revenge on me just to see what happens. You made me jump, so you jump now.
Oh, wow. Okay, listen, it's been an action-packed podcast so far. We'll spend another... How many more minutes, Tony, should we spend? 10 or 12?
20.
Go, mate. Seriously.
You got to go, Stan.
Yeah. I have to go. So, thank you for having me on. And
Arsenal, the win, lose, or draw, Stan.
Have a good week. What's that, Tony?
I said, is Arsenal, the win, lose, or draw?
Oh, we're losing that one, I think. Lukaku's going to gobble us up. So thanks, everyone. And,
cheers, Stan. Nice to see you, mate.
Look forward to speaking to you all after the Chelsea game.
Yep, great stuff, mate.
All right, talk to you.
Cheers. Okay, Gary, when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
God damn it.
I didn't write in the second part of that.
I'm trying to figure out where you're going with that. What is that for?
Is the tough going to get going? Is Arsenal going to get going when the going gets tough?
If what we saw in the first match is a stepping stone, what happens next? I think it's going to be really tough for us to get a win out of this thing. So that's not happening. We're lucky to get a draw. I think it's going to be too much. They have too much, right? They go to their bench and they're still going to be strong. We go to our bench, we got like one option probably. Wow.
Really,
big up, Ridley.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
4 a.m. in the UK. If you gotta go to sleep, go to sleep. Get some snooze time, and catch us on Sunday. We'll be back for a pre-game and post-game, and also Darren and Sam. Early hours in the mornings for them. So, Gary, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't want to say we're going to lose, but I don't think we're going to win. So
it's kind of like heart over head sometimes, or head over heart, right?
Yeah.
For this game.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to win. Let's just say that.
Yeah. It's a bonus game. I see it as a bonus game, Darren. What do you think?
I don't know, bonus games, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't expect to get points, but maybe.
See, because I've got all my friends at Arsenal, Chelsea fans, so you can imagine I have to play it nice at the minute, which isn't going down well. But, I mean, like Gary said, going by our bench and our players against what they've got, I'm a little bit nervous, but at the same time, I'm optimistic that maybe we can bring something, but we'll see. I don't know who's fit on what the lineup's going to be yet, so until we see the lineup, it's hard to tell at the minute.
Sam, I've put up kind of a team with the news that Aubameyang may be available again. So
he's available.
I think a lot of people, we talked about this last week, we should go with a 3-4-3. I've seen a lot of people say the same thing. Almost everybody said the same thing. Don't go with a back four. Play with a back three. It probably leans into our strengths a little bit more. Tierney at the back with Mari and White as your three. Two wing backs. And Emile Smith-Rowe, Aubameyang, and Pepe up front.
I mean, that's the system that I think overall works best for us under Arteta. The 4-2-3-1 stuff, it doesn't really work with Arteta. So if he can change back now, I hope he does, to try and at least get something from this game. Because if we go out doing the same thing as we did against Brentford, even with the likes of Alba back, I mean, it's not going to help. Chelsea are going to be too good for us. Normally, we have Chelsea's number because we have this ability to sort of just outplay them sometimes. Where recently we just have this knack of beating them. But I think it's different now because last time Tuchel was still very new manager with them, and getting them sort of going. I think now he's got them going really well. I think it's a completely different prospect now. I think he's much more settled now with the team, knows who to use, how to use them. I think he's going to set up very well against us, where Arteta, unless he does something really different, he's going to do something very familiar. And unfortunately, it's that same thing, right? I mean, it's going to be a combination of Arteta's poor tactical selection and the players, not wanting to give all and not giving 110%. And I think most likely we're going to lose the game. Unfortunately, I just think Chelsea are going to be too much for us.
Yeah, Tony, it's going to be a backs against the wall kind of game, and realistically, probably the best we can hope for is a draw at home.
Yeah, to me, it depends on the formation. If I was Arteta, I'd keep highlighting the Tottenham and City game. They play a 4-2-3-1. They played discipline. They played the high attack well. They played the counter well.
Mm-hmm.
If we stick with our shit 4-2-3-1 formation, I'd copy exactly what Spurs did in that game. I think we can get a result if we do that. But we likely won't.
Yeah, they're a different team though. Tottenham is a different team. They're a team full of high intensity working midfield, defensive setup, and then you got Son who can take a chance up front.
But we got speedy players to do the counter.
Mm-hmm. Gary, the whole situation last week with Aubameyang, Lacazette, we don't know what happened, but it's very, very suspicious in terms of what's coming to light now in the 7 days since.
Yeah, it's funny. I had that. I was like, if you didn't say anything, I was going to bring it up on the way out. But yeah, that situation seems a little strange, right? 4 players come down with COVID. It seems, right? Game isn't threatened at all as far as being canceled.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it wasn't.
Well, it wasn't because
compared to the article I read, it was.
No, well, that's crap, Tony, isn't it?
No, I mean, it wasn't. They weren't going to cancel
Tony,
that
think
game.
about it. Tony, use your brain. You're this thing up here, right? Think about it. If it was that close to being cancelled, why did they get to change players so they could field a team and a squad?
because
they didn't want to cancel the first game of the season.
So they did not. They, you know what?
Exactly.
If that was City, that was Liverpool, that was United, I have no doubt that match probably would have been postponed. I don't think they would have let. There's a conspiracy theory
first game
out there.
First game of the season, Gary. First game, the showpiece of the Premier League.
I think if you're doing this, if you're all about the league and what's best for your players, you don't play that match based on you know what. You know what? This is an easy one to me. Yeah, it cancels the first game of this season, but the game is still going to get played. All right, the game is still going to get played. I think I think we got punished a little bit there for whatever things of the past. I mean, for the league, I don't think it's a good look. Based on what's coming out now, right? Because now they're saying they're not going to cancel any other matches for the rest of the season, as far as I'm concerned, right? So if a team comes down, it's Saturday, they play the next day, and they've got 4 positive tests. They're playing on Sunday. Sorry, right? That's what I would expect if I'm Arsenal, right? If I'm Arsenal,
consistency.
They cannot change. They've set a precedence now that, you know what, the player safety doesn't matter, and we don't really care about the other team as well. Because every game is important, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is 3 points. We're probably going to look. You know where we're going to be in the league, 5th or 7th.
Yeah.
These 3
We can't be giving away points, and then you take away 4 of our, not 4, but 3 of our players that, potentially could start. You got a problem, 2 that would start, and 2 that wouldn't. But it's still those positions that we weren't expecting to have to replace before the game started. So yeah, I think the league kind of let Arsenal down, but maybe that's from things that happened in the past. But you're not protecting your players when you do that, and that's both Arsenal and Brentford.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Don Juan said they will change it right if it suits City or Chelsea. I hope that's not the case, but Sam, it was first day of the season, first game of the season.
I think it's a cover-up, to be honest. This is typical Arsenal PR cover-up. It's happened many times before.
Sam got 12 points out of it. He doesn't care.
It's we went through the whole thing with Ozil with his constant back pain for the reason we're never playing. Instead of just saying he's shit, it was his back pain. We did the same with other players before. They were always, instead of just saying, oh, they're not good enough, they were sick or something like that, and then they were phased out. I think what happened was there's been some kind of rift, and it's easy to cover up with COVID. I think maybe Willian and Ruderson actually did test positive in the pre-match or the before-match test that everyone has to do.
Yeah, Willian.
You see, this is the thing. This is the thing that makes me confident that the game shouldn't have been cancelled, because this is the same protocol that's been in place for a long time now. The exact same protocol. The players get tested a certain amount of time before the match, and I think there's some kind of threshold. If more than so many of the squad test positive, then you have to cancel the game because you basically can't field a squad, right? But it was under that threshold. They're allowed to substitute them, and that's what happens, right? It's like getting an injury or an illness all of a sudden. You don't cancel the game. You just have to change the player and move on and just play the game. Unfortunately, that's what sometimes happens. So, but what really baffles me is that protocol, this whole testing protocol thing has been in place for a long time now. So if it was an actual test that happened, then that has always been communicated through the FA channels, through the league channels. It's always been communicated that these players have tested positive, this has happened, blah, blah, blah. Everyone gets to know, then there's no question, there's no all this speculation, because people know what's happened. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, we just have to do the best out of it. Let's move on. But no, there was no talk about any of that. So for me, it raises so many more questions as to why it happened like that. Why that information didn't come out about the test at the time. That for me raises all the alarm bells. And now it's very convenient to use that as an excuse, to cover something that happened with Lacazette and Aubameyang. I think something happened there off the field. There's been some arguments. They've been maybe asked not to take part again, and instead of creating this whole massive meltdown, they know what happened last time with Aubameyang in Tottenham and everything. They've just covered it up and slid it under the carpet with COVID.
And then of course, Sam, there was the inquiries with Barcelona, possible swaps involving one.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't leave players out just because there's a potential transfer. Not unless the deal has actually been done. No, not unless the deal has actually been done and it's imminent. Then okay, you're going to save him. If you know the deal's imminent, just days away from being completed, then you normally save a player out of courtesy. Or if he's going to be cup tied, right? If it's a Champions League game or a Europa League game, you don't cup tie the player out of courtesy. But if there's no deal imminent or there's nothing close, you're not going to stop using players. I mean, we've been using players who've been in the shop window for a long time, so that that argument doesn't make sense. You know, that just doesn't make sense at all. And also, it's been confirmed.
Nothing about Arsenal makes sense.
Tell us. Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's all a complete shit show. It's all a complete shambles. All a complete fucking enigma.
So it's possible, right?
And Fabrizio Romano has actually come out in recent days and said there's never been any contact between Arsenal and Barcelona with Lacazette or Aubameyang. So it's all bullshit. So, you know, again, it's if they tested positive for Corona in that pre-match test, it's protocol. It's been protocol for a long time. It's always been communicated. Whenever there's been a positive test, positive result, it's always been communicated through all the channels. But now this didn't happen. That to me is a huge red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they had 2 bottles of Corona.
I mean, it could be both things, Sam. I think it could be both.
I'm not saying I have the answer. I'm just saying that's my opinion. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
No, I was just gonna say, like I said, they've set a precedence now. As far as I'm concerned, I know maybe they were following it to the T, and this is how it works. But I know they postponed games before, so. You know, how different were those testing cycles than this one? It should be the same, right? I don't know.
I think it's because it's above a threshold. If you have more than a certain amount, because I remember there was a game that was cancelled because like there was 8 players who tested positive or something like that.
Maybe
I think there's some kind of threshold where you have this many players positive. We will postpone the fixture. You know.
I think it has to be at least 6 or something like that.
Also, I thought it also had to do with it could be like if you like lost all your goalkeepers. Because of COVID, they would also.
We didn't lose all our goalkeepers, did we?
We know we basically lost all of our strikers at one, right?
Yeah, we still had strikers.
Gary, how many first teamers were we down? We were down about 5 or 6 first team players due to injury. This happened.
It hurt on top of the 2 players. Like I said, and Aubameyang are potential starters, right? And then
might not have made any difference, but you know, we'd like to start the game.
Look at the fans beforehand. There were many fans beforehand saying we would like to see Lacazette and Aubameyang not play, right? And that's what we got to see. Yeah,
I was personally happy to see it, but you know.
But you know what? There's a big difference between. There's a big difference between. All right, we're starting our Monday practice. We're starting on Monday practice, and you know what? Aubameyang and Lacazette aren't starting on Sunday. You know, that's a big difference. Then we've been practicing all the way up until Thursday, and bang, they're gone. It's a totally different situation for me because you're not planning for that, and Arteta cannot make those adjustments. He can barely make adjustments at halftime. Right?
Yeah, I know it hurts him, but it hurts him. But the thing is, I don't think the game would have been cancelled based on just those 4 players testing positive. And I think the information would have come out. I see what Jonathan Porter's put down there. But last season, we got information before every game. This player or that player is tested positive. He can't play. Mm-hmm. We always got that information before every game. So, this is why I don't quite get this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, if a player is healthy all the way up and then doesn't play in the game, then they got a COVID test. You can kind of put 2 and 2 together, and then you'll find out where they get to play the next one based on the second test, right? I mean, I find it weird that they don't tell you the first one, but they'll tell you the second one. I mean, why aren't the same privacy rules in place? They're out.
It doesn't really make sense,
right? Either you're telling us or you don't. If you're not going to tell us on the first one, then I really don't want to know about the second one. We could just put it 2 and 2 together and leave it at that. If it's a medical decision, it's medical information that's not allowed to go out, right?
Mm.
And
Alonso wants a boomerang. A boomerang in there.
And boomerang.
Big up Jonathan Porter for bringing us. The positive happened on the day of the game.
Yeah, but why are they testing on the same day? That doesn't make sense. I mean, again, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, see, and you know what? It was right after everybody in Thailand woke up. That's when the test results came in. I believe that's exactly what happened. So,
he breaks the news on Erdegaard, and then he just tops it off by that news as well.
That's just,
Fabrizio Greenwood.
Yeah, busy.
He's multifaceted. He's an agent. He does the reporting.
You're hanging out with Brownie too much. That's what it is.
You know, he's going into Bitcoin soon. There's going to be
oh God, don't start all of that. Oh jeez.
All right, listen, we're going to get out of here, but let's have final thoughts. Sam, thanks for staying with it. Darren and Sam, big up yourselves for staying this long.
Did everybody finish their predictions for the game?
Sam, final thoughts on anything you want of what we talked about?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you know, I just what can you say?
Come on, be positive, man.
I mean, I just feel so bad about what's going on at Arsenal. You know, I just can't figure up or down or whatever. You know,
focus on the good stuff.
What the good thing about Arsenal at the moment is we have some good youth players coming through, but I don't know what's happening with them now because we've got this guy who's got the same name as a cow, Betsy, who's supposed to be coaching them, and the first game has been an absolute shit show. I don't know. I just can't get my head around this. What's going on at Arsenal?
It's still one of the cows out of a pasture behind my house.
It's like you think something can get worse, can't get worse, and yes, you can. You can get worse. You know, we can make an absolute even worse decision to do something that no one decides. You know,
no one. Shit keeps getting higher and higher.
Yeah, no one can make any sense of whatsoever. No, it's just such a shame, really. You know, because we used to be such a well-organized, well-oiled machine. You know, we were the Bank of England club and all of this. You know, it was. We weren't glamour, we weren't glitter, but we knew what we were doing, right? There was a system there. Everyone had their structure from top to bottom, and you just knew what was going on. Now it's like, what the who does what? You know, it's like I bet if you walked into the administration part of London Colney, you walked around there, you see people like, who are you? What are you? Who are you? What do you do? What do you do? And I don't know what each other. What do you do? What do you do? I've never seen you before. You know, I bet it's like that. You know, I mean, it's just, no one has any idea what the hell they're doing, and it's just a real shame. It really is. I want it to get better as soon as possible. For me, you know, we can talk a long time about this, but of course, the change has to come from the top. Change everything from the top. An owner has to come in who wants to be ambitious with Arsenal and make Arsenal a top club again. Of course, it has to come from there and work its way down through the system. But for me, you can still mitigate so many things on every level. So for me, like we've been talking about, I think with this squad of players, we can still do a hell of a lot better, get a lot more out of them than what we're getting out of them now. Yeah. So for me, changing a manager is the easiest thing and the first thing we can do. And you know, and unfortunately, you know, this is the worry is, okay, we get rid of Arteta. Who's going to be making that decision on who comes in, right? Josh Kroenke doesn't know the difference between his arse and a hole in the ground. You know, Edu, what is he doing? He's on jet skis and wife swapping with Raul in Monaco. You know,
tell us what you really think about the club, Sam.
You know, I mean, what are these guys doing? I mean, it just gives. I mean, listen. I know this is 2021. You have a smartphone. You have a laptop. You can do everything now, mobile, while sitting on the toilet having a shit. Right? I know that, right? I've done it myself. But the thing is, right? It's just the optics, right? It's just the optics. You know, the fans are pissed off with things are not working in the transfer window, and you're fucking sending out pictures of being on a yacht with Raul in Monaco. You're on a jet ski somewhere else. You're on holiday. You're cooking burgers. It's like, come on, people, use your fucking brains. You know, have a look at how this looks, right? It's like these people don't even know how it looks. You know, do they have any contact or any kind of realization what the fan base is thinking about, you know, how this looks? Anyway. So I just want to, just finish off now. I'm rambling on here, but the thing is, you know, it's just this club, you know.
For your final words.
It's
just, you know, we're going to 3 hours, guys. Don't worry about it. So it's, it's a shit show, isn't it, from the top to the bottom? But for me, we need a new manager, but I'm worried about what kind of manager they would bring in, seriously, because if Edu and Josh are making the choice, it's like, okay, Arteta, sorry, we see you're not good enough. let's go and bring in Steve Bruce or something like that. You know, I mean, seriously, I'm worried about that. So because we don't have that level of understanding and competence in the club, that's what's so worrying about it. So anyway, I want Arsenal to win. I want Arsenal to do better. But you know, everything the way it looks at the moment is just, you know, where do we go? You know, what do we do? And I'm really sorry to be so negative, but you know, it's been feeling like that for a long while, and everything we do just keeps, you know, like Tony says, that shit pile just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Sam,
and that's what it is.
The transfer window for you, how would you rate it?
The transfer window so far. Listen, we have upgraded. I would say we've upgraded our squad. We've brought in players we need, right? I think we've improved our defence with Ben White going forward. But he's not the priority. It's like I would prioritise, you know, a striker. I prioritise, you know, a right back. I would prioritise, you know, the positions we actually need more than yes, okay, we can have an upgrade on Holding and Marie. That's fine, but that wasn't a priority. You know, we should have prioritised other positions. And for me, Ramsdale, and one of the biggest priorities was a backup goalkeeper. Okay, now it looks like we've got Ramsdale, which, you know, okay, you know, we're not really sure about him. You know, again, I wouldn't have gone for him. You know, I would have gone for someone else who's better. But anyway, it is what it is.
Maybe the club knows something about quotas moving forward as well, and the market for English players is going to dry up. Ray Anderson understands it's realistic, Sam. I always say I'm realistically optimistic here. Darren, let's go to you. Final thoughts, Darren. Thanks for being here, and you and Sam being as late as it is.
Yeah, sorry I went on there. It's just, you know.
Yeah, it was supposed to be final thought, not
sorry about that.
Not like everything across the board.
I
haven't been here for many weeks. Sorry, Darren. I haven't been here.
No, we enjoyed it.
Darren's first words or his final?
Go ahead, Darren.
I just don't want to see us, you know, when you have other people, like especially other from different teams going, oh, come on, it's all the names under the sun because we're this and that. I want us to be the team that people fear. You know, you think back in the 90s, everyone feared us a little bit.
Yeah.
We just need that back again. And at the minute, I don't think we're going to get that. But
it's a long road. It's a long road to get back to those days of being fearful.
Bring back him. I'll be happy.
Yeah. Lee Dixon. Definitely. Something like that. Gary.
Yeah, I think Sam said everything I was going to say, you know, at least about Arsenal.
Yeah, he said everything all of us were going to say.
So I don't really need to. I don't think I want to. I'll go through the good part of Arsenal as well, the marketing department with the videos.
The anti-Sam. The anti-Sam.
But I have some bad news for them, anyways. I decided to watch the practice video because, you know, usually the practice video is actually makes you feel good about what you see. The first two touches of the ball that they showed was Leno getting scored on. And what they were doing, it would trick shots behind the, you know, whatever they call it when they kick the ball behind, you know, the one that we got scored on at Tottenham or at Spurs when the guy kicked it behind him, so, you know, did a kick behind or whatever they call that. I forgot the name.
The Rabona.
The Rabona. Pepe did that on Leno, I believe, in the video, and they actually pushed it out there. It was, and the ball. It was a sad execution of it because the ball just like really trickled across the line. So I was watching it, going, "Why are they pushing that out there?" But the nice thing was they were showing Martinelli taking some shots from distance, a lot of shots from distance, which I'm hoping they will actually bring into the game when they get an opportunity because we're not going to be too many, I think, in this game. But when they do, hopefully they can finish like they were doing in that video because we're going to need it if we get those chances, right? I mean, that's the thing that also concerns me for the game. So I guess I'm going to talk negatively, about the game. But we need to be able to finish, but also we're going to have to, I think we're going to play a good defensive game. So if it's Chelsea, maybe we can surprise them. This reminds me a little bit of the last time we were playing them, right? Basically, the season was terrible, right, going into this match. So I'm hoping for a repeat. if anything is consistent, Arteta will have a plan that makes surprises us. He always surprises us. I always say that, and he's continually doing that. So let's see how this game goes. I won't be able to see it live, but I will watch the replay of it. So I'm hoping that I can watch it for all the good parts when it happens. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. Like I said, I'm hoping we got 2 weeks to get another play in, maybe 2, but we need to get some players out. So we'll see how that all goes.
Well, it can be 3-3.
And Ray, stop. No, stop. Ray, you're not winning this one, and I think Rowan's gone anyway, so you don't have any backup.
Everybody has known it was July 16th. We had 3 players in.
We did not have 3 players in, so stop with
it's
that.
It's on the video. It's back. It's back there.
You just like to make all the rules, and we're supposed to sit here and take it, right?
I guess so.
It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to, and all that stuff. That's.
Hey, Alonso.
Hey, Alonso. Yeah. So I guess in to finish off, hoping for a good match. Hope I'm not expecting it, but we've been surprised, so maybe we'll get surprised this weekend, and it'd be nice to shut everybody up for at least another week. So we'll see.
Ray Anderson, look back. Gary accepted. We didn't have it in officially, but on July 16th, he was coming to Arsenal.
See, I've got Ray on my side, so forget about it. Forget about it.
This fan base is splitting right down the middle.
No, there's no splitting. You've got Rohan, and I've got the rest of them. So stop.
No, you don't, Gary.
Oh my!
They don't win, Raj. Hey, I say this because every time, right, we discount Arsenal versus Chelsea, they win, right? Mm-hmm. It's happened so many times in the past, and I have faith that they win.
There you go.
And it's my birthday too, right? So I mean,
that's right.
Sunday is my birthday. They have to win, Gary.
Yes, I'm with you. I want a big birthday surprise for you. So there you go.
We weren't going off officially, Ray Anderson. We were going off of.
No, wait a second. Oh, come on, Sam. Sam, do you?
Sorry, Ray. You're wrong.
Alonso, your final thoughts.
First and final thoughts.
And then we'll finish up with Tony and myself.
Where do I begin?
Well, you just got here. You don't get to begin. You get to finish.
Okay, so my final thought is what Sam said. There's got to be more to what's going on at Arsenal, right? And if the Arsenal lose and keep on losing, I think unfortunately Arteta is going to be the scapegoat because this is his team now. We're getting new players in, and this is on his watch now, so he has no excuse to do bad, right? I think Ben White is still a great player for us, great signing for us. I think Odegaard coming back is fantastic. Even though he wasn't our main target, I think Madison, something happened there, but I'm happy Odegaard's back. But I think we're missing some key positions that need to be filled. I don't think that Chambers is going to be a long-term fix for us. And it'd be interesting to see how we line up on Sunday. I think that the 3 at the back isn't popular. I think it's our best bet to win the game on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think we finally had the players to do so. Though I really don't favor Tierney being in the back 3, but it is what it is. I think Saka does a better job back there as wing back than I guess Kolasinac does. and so I think that what impressed me about Friday, the first game was Emil Smith-Rowe and Sambi, right? So I think we gotta continue with Sambi, right? Is that?
Yep.
So yeah, I think
like Sambi.
I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a big player for us for years to come. And I think that I think Friday was let down for us as Arsenal fans because we didn't have high hopes, but I think Brentford is going to be a real surprise this year.
You know what?
Yeah.
You're not done.
Right.
You're not done yet because you didn't talk about your favorite player, and I missed that.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, come
Some
on.
guy at Inter Miami.
Come on, I want to hear it. I need to hear it.
Gibbs doing.
Come on.
Gibbs is old news. I thought
he's old news. Okay.
I think that I will start the season fresh and
Pick a new one.
I've been so busy at work. I forgot to mention Kieran Gibbs, but I wish Kieran Gibbs the best. It was a fun.
You missed us, Alonso. You missed being with us, right?
Kind of. I missed the banter.
Most of us. You missed most of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully you can join us on Sunday at some point.
What time are you talking?
An hour before kickoff, a little bit over an hour before kickoff for the pre-game, and the post-game will be probably right after the game, an hour after the game.
I'll make the pre-game.
Okay, you'll make the pre-game. Okay.
Yeah.
You, me, and Tony probably. I think Gary is out, right?
Yeah, I'll be driving.
All right. Cool.
Driving.
Driving.
What?
Everyone. Angry driver. Listen, Tony, you get the last word here.
Why do I give a last word? You
all right.
Listen,
you get the last word, and then I'll get the last word. Let's finish this thing. Come on. People want to go home. Let's go.
This 3-hour flight's ran out of fuel. Time for our belly landing.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for the window to close. Curious who we get out, as I call it, the Deadwood pool. See who's the first out. Bellerin, Torreira, whoever else gets out of there. I still think we'll bring in 2 more players. I don't think it's just going to be one. I think we're going to be surprised. And Gary's going to end up winning the bet against me and Ray because I was fully on Ray's side. And
I don't think we're going to do 2. I'm sorry.
And to the non-football side, it's nice to see Darren face his peers. I certainly want to jump out of a fully working airplane. The fucker would have to be on fire.
He hasn't done it yet.
And I'm grabbing the bag and jumping out.
He hasn't done it yet, but if I know something about Darren, he follows through with what he intends to do. Yeah. So I do know he will. He has a responsibility, and he carries responsibility very, very well. And if you take something on, Darren, you'll do it. I know that much. And you'll
just in case people don't know what the charges are for, like Willow is basically helping people with end-of-life severe illnesses, so they help like with special days. The York Dance Project is Lee's Dixon's other half, who does a lot of dance movement with kids from different backgrounds and stuff. So it's worth raising money for them too. So
no, definitely good cause, and we'll be promoting it as we go through the season here. I want to give my final thoughts, and then I want to ask you a question. Are we better? Have we upgraded through the window? Just a thumbs up or thumbs down? I think we've upgraded over last season. Okay. Okay, final thoughts. Happy we got a goalkeeper in. Listen, the fans, wait and see how he goes before you start giving him abuse. And you don't need to add a player. You never need to do that. As Gary said, you analyze the player, how they're doing. If it's justified, you can criticize them. Don't add him or criticize his family. It's an ugly part of the fan base. There's nothing more really to say. It's been a long podcast. I didn't think it would go this long. So thanks to Alonso for dropping in.
Pull the shoot.
Alonso, thanks for dropping in. Thanks to Stan. And thanks to Sam and Darren, who were in the early hours. And, of course, Gary.
I'll volunteer to be on the plane with Darren to push him out to just make sure he gets out the door.
Thanks,
Make
Gary.
sure you give me the parachute before I jump, yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks, Gary, and the two Tonys as well.
Yes.
Slap a like on the video.
Bye, Tony, and bye, Tony.
We're out of here. We'll see you on the pre-game Sunday morning, early Sunday. See you then. Come on, you gooders. Let's hope for a
Wrap it
win.
up, Ray. Damn it.